to hit ratio, that 221 batting average against. Let's take a look at the Jeep pitcher scatter report. Left out, left-handed batters this year, batting the .136, righties 241. Over his last 26 starts, only the batting averages against are lower against the lefties. On the roll. His on his roll is at 3-0 in his last 3 starts. He's averaged 8 innings per start with a 1.12 ERA. And workhorse over the last 2 years, 505 innings pitched. He is a workhorse.
Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. 77 degrees, 66% humidity, wind is 10 miles per hour, and the forecast is for isolated showers, but they think it's going to be later after the game. Let's cross our fingers on that. Another big crowd here at the stadium on this Memorial Day Sunday. And again, everybody here at the Yes Network sends out our best wishes and thanks to all the veterans that have made this country exactly what it is and what this holiday is all about, honoring the memory of those that gave their lives to make this country free and give us the life that we presently enjoy. So thank you to everybody that served in the armed forces over the years. Jimmy Rollins digs in. CC Sabathia is on the mound. Let's do it here at the new house in the Bronx. The big left-hander winds, kicks, and deals. There's a strike, and we are underway.
Always like to get here early and talk to Dave Island, the pitching coach, about a starting pitcher. You know, what are we looking for? And usually he'll have something. He's going to work on this. He's going to work on that. CC Sabathia said, we're just staying out of the way. Like you said, Al, on a nice roll right now. Everything working.
There's a ground ball to short. Jeter. Away. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense today behind CC Sabathia. In the outfield, you've got Damon, Gardner, and Cabrera left to right. In the infield, A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira. That's third to first. Cervelli behind the plate. Sabathia is on the mound. The Yankee defense in 10 straight games, they have not committed an error. And I don't think it's any coincidence that they are 9-1 in those 10 games. There's the new house and the old house side by side. Shane Victorino batting right-handed against the lefty. Sabathia digs in, and the pitch is high, 1-0. Last 3 starts for Sabathia, as Al said, red hot, 3-0, 1.12. Interleague plays done well as well, 12-6, 3.74, and against the Phillies lifetime, 1-1 with a 4.97 ERA. And the pitch. Strike. Like the picture you're seeing? Well, IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. And the 1-1. There's that change. He's used that so effectively, 1 and 2.
Well, I think the very fact, Michael, you mentioned the changeup. Here's a guy with tremendous dominating stuff. His velocity is now getting into that CC velocity in that mid-90s range, but to offset plus fastball with a really, I call it Ron Guidry kind of put-away slider. He's got 3 pitches right now, and as John said with Dave Island, just leave him alone. When you got a guy that is front-end, Cy Young Award type stuff, it's locked in.
My guess, it's a home plate umpire. Plays a big role in this game. Randy Marsh at first. Mike Winters is at second. And Lance Barksdale is over at third. Phillies 15-6 on the road, which is outstanding. The 2-2. Popped up. Jeter hardly has to move. Shades his eyes from the sun and puts it away for the second out. Jeter not wearing glasses, so he uses the glove to shade his eyes. And here's Raul Ibanez. His numbers speak for themselves. 350, 17 homers, 42 ribbies. First year of a 3-year free agent deal he signed during the offseason.
A lot of lineups trying to stack the right-handed batters against CC Sabathia. Charlie Manuel, a manager, throws in Ibanez. Doesn't have any problem hitting against lefties. Over 300 last year. Hits the ball very well to left center. Doesn't try to do too much against the lefties.
I mentioned about CC's dominance. In his last 26 starts, left-handed batters have had no extra base hits. And as you mentioned, you can't get any hotter of a major league hitter than Raul Ibanez and what the sign has meant for the Phillies. But we'll see today with Ibanez and Howard, Jerry Manuel not wanting to take him out against a tough lefty at CC.
The 2-0. Now, obviously, the Philly lefties have to be able to hit left-handed pitching because they'd be in trouble. Most of their big hitters are left-handed, and they do. The Phillies are 9-4 against lefty starters, so it doesn't shut them down completely. They're 5-2 at home against lefties and 4-2 on the road. And they're first in the National League in home runs with 20 against left-handed pitchers. Rolls over on a pitch outside, grounds it to Teixeira, beats him to the bag, and a nice easy 1-2-3 inning for CC Sabathia. So the Phillies go down in order. Phillies nothing, and the Yankees come into bat. First will hit third. Cleaning up and playing third base, Alex Rodriguez. Robinson Cano at second base will bat fifth. Batting sixth and playing right field, Melky Cabrera. Hideki Matsui, the DH, is going to hit seventh. Batting eighth and catching, Francisco Cervelli. And Brett Gardner, the center fielder, will bat ninth. Jeter carries a 7-game hitting streak into this game against the Phils, and he's 10 for 30 during that time.
Cole Hamels, the Phillies ace, 25-year-old, very respectable numbers. If you're coming on of late, has pitched really strong. Let's take a look at the Jeep pitcher scatter report. Jump start, he's very good in the first inning. 0 runs in the first innings of 7 starts. Bears down 1 for 17 runners in scoring position in his last 6 starts. And MVPs, the NLCS and World Series MVP last year.
Pitch the Jeters outside, 1-0.
Al, you mentioned those great numbers in the first inning. You know, momentum plays such a big part in this game. You got to feel the Yankees feeling very good about themselves after yesterday's comeback win. You have your ace on the mound and CC Sabathia. Love to put some runs on the board early.
Cole Hamels had an elbow irritation in spring training. They brought him along slowly, and about 5 starts ago he got hit with a line drive. And then his next start, they gave him some rest. He twisted his ankle, but since then, his last 3 starts, he's been very dominant. This guy's got a great changeup, Johan Santana-like. Pretty straight fastball, but the changeup he'll use in any count. Lefty, righty, it doesn't matter. Got a good occasional curveball, but his changeup is lights out.
Line drive, there's an 8-game hitting streak for Derek Jeter. Jason Worth Fields fires the ball in. Jeter's on first with a leadoff single.
Well, Al was talking about the changeup. It was the first one that we have seen from Hamels, and it's up in the zone. 80 miles an hour. Derek Jeter takes care of this. That's actually a mistake that you're probably happy it was only a base hit. Derek extends that hitting streak. Like I said, you feel good about the Yankees after yesterday's game, the comeback win. Love to put a run or 2 on the board early in this ball game with your ace on the hill.
And the pitch upstairs to Johnny Damon. You know, lost amidst the 2-run home run by A-Rod and then the walk-off hit by Melky. The walk that Johnny Damon drew against Brad Lidge was really the starting point for that whole inning. Gave the Yankees the thought process that they could actually do it, and everything else fell into place after that.
And I don't think there's really much more of an exciting thing to experience and also watch it than walk-off. Whatever it is, obviously walk-off home run is dramatic.
Shattered bat and a slow ground ball towards second. Brunton gets the out at first as Jeter moves to second.
When Johnny Damon breaks a bat, boy, he does not get cheated. I mean, they shatter. Very rarely you see a bat shatter all the way up into the barrel like that one. There's a fastball in on his hands.
Didn't even look that far on the hands.
Ooh.
It's that maple wood. Used to be ash wood. Most major league bats now there's a lot of maple wood.
Runner at second for Mark Teixeira. Al, did you ever walk off after a loss?
No.
Never?
No, because I either wasn't out there long enough to give it up or I started most of my career. But I think the emotion, what you just described with Damon, it's infectious. It's something that exciting.
Jeter almost got caught off second, but he hustled back in the throw to first for the second out. And that's going to bring up Alex Rodriguez, and he'll receive a nice hand from the crowd here at the stadium.
Watching that at bat yesterday against Brad Lidge, I was surprised he went with that fastball to try to finish him off. It was the only fastball he saw the whole at bat, up out over the plate. Throwing sliders all the way through. I thought with first base open, maybe he'd go with another slider, see if Alex would chase it, try to sneak a fastball, and it didn't work out.
Now you'll see the lineup today. Robinson Cano is batting fifth behind Rodriguez as Joe Girardi's trying to get Rodriguez some protection in the lineup. Hideki Matsui has really been struggling of late. 5 hits in his last 26 at bats, so Matsui drops down to 7. Then Cano is the protection for Alex. 18th home run yesterday for Alex that either tied the game or gave his team the lead in the 9th inning or later. And it was his 560th career home run.
You know, you make a good point, John, about, Alex Rodriguez is still obviously a great player. 204 batting average. Of his 10 hits, you talk about being economical with his home run power. 7 of them of his 10 hits are home runs.
And this is a situation here. If you're Alex Rodriguez, you probably have some thoughts going through your head. First base is open. There's a lefty on deck in Robinson Cano. I'm probably not going to see a fastball. Probably not going to get a cookie right down the middle, a drive. Probably sitting soft, off speed, curveball or change.
Got it right there, but took it for strike 2 and 2. Alex has 243 hits in interleague play as well, and that's second all time to his teammate Derek Jeter with 284. Jeter goes, throw to third, out in time, stolen base for Jeter. And if you were going to steal third with 2 outs, you better make it, because it doesn't make sense.
It took Derek to see the timing and what Hamels was doing, and he became repeated in a pattern. And you can see the secondary lead and the great jump that he had. But you're right, Michael. You better make it with 2 outs, runner at second. Now, less than 2 outs, you want to get to third base with a chance of a sacrifice fly. But Hamels had the same delivery, the same cadence, same look, and great jump.
And people always ask, especially the younger fans, well, why can't you make the first or the third out at third? It just doesn't make sense, because if you're at second with nobody out, you could move over to third on an out and still score on an out. And you see the interleague hit leaders there. The top 3 are on the Yankees. But with 2 outs, you're not increasing your chances to score all that much except on a wild pitch. So if you're going to steal third, you have to make it. Jeter, with his 9th stolen base of the year, and he's been caught once. 3-2. Also, Jeter with his single to open up the first inning. He's now reached base in 47 straight interleague games.
Coming back strong. He had a little bit of a side issue in Toronto. Took some time off. Anytime he takes a day or two off, you know it. He's feeling some pain.
3-2. Swung on and missed. Got him on the off-speed pitch. So Hamill survives the leadoff single by Jeter. No runs are hit. No errors in. One man left on base. We played one inning here at the new house, and there's no score. Yankees and the Phils. Schedule. After the game, the Yankees fly to Texas. Tomorrow on Yes at 2 o'clock start, Memorial Day. Then Tuesday on My 9 at 8. Wednesday back on Yes at 8. Then a 4-game wraparound set against the Indians. Friday and Saturday night at Yes, 7 o'clock start. Sunday at 12:40 start on Yes. And then Monday, June 1st, a 7 o'clock start also on Yes. That's not the Yankees, but that's pretty much how they'll be going. As we go to the second inning. Ryan Howard against CC Sabathia. You know what we've learned from this ballpark early on is that you cannot make mistakes up in the zone. That's what Andy Pettitte said yesterday. He said if you make a mistake up in the zone, you are going to pay for it. If your mistakes, you want them low and off the plate. But if it's up in the zone, you could be punished with a home run here. And I think all the pitchers are learning that. Swung on the miss.
Well, I agree with Andy Pettitte on that, but also I think, you know, if you're going to be pitching a guy like Howard, you got to make your mistakes in off the plate. You don't want to give up those home runs that a hitter doesn't hit real well and it carries out of the park to right field. So off the plate inside, and like Andy Pettitte said, make your mistakes down and away.
The 0-2.
And also with that, there's no question that there's obviously the ball flies here. And there's a lot of stadiums, new stadiums especially, that are hitters' parks. But as you say, John, you're still going to pitch to according to plan to a scout report to execute a hitter's weakness, and not think about, geez, if this ball is up, it's going to be a home run. You just got to make your pitch. Easier said than done.
Yeah, but your pitch is never leaving a pitch up in the zone.
Well, no, right. I mean, you don't want your pitch up, you know, in Yellowstone. It's just a hit. It's an area in which a major league hitter, that's where they like it. And they want that ball middle, preferably middle, but somewhere up in the zone, not so much high there. But that's the best spot where a hitter can see the ball well and put his best swing on it.
Just miss.
And I'll tell you what, it plays on a catcher's mind when you start calling a ball game. It's kind of like when you go to Fenway Park. You know that green monster is always there. You're kind of calling pitches maybe to stay away from it, especially in a big situation late in the game. Talked to Kevin Cash, who's not catching today. Cervelli is, but he said, hey, it does. It plays into your mind on how to call a game.
3-2 to Howard.
In the old Yankee Stadium, was the same way, in the sense where when you come inside, as John's saying, you got to really make sure that it's in black or off the plate. To aggressive 3-2 count, you have to be at the plate here, assuming that he's got a good eye. But the danger here now at the Yankee Stadium, if you miss inside, it's not just a base hit to left or a double, it could be a home run.
Popped up. Shallow right field. Melky coming on, and he might be play. 1 out.
Melky having a good time. A lot of reasons to smile for him. Come a long way since spring training. Getting regular playing time. Whether it's center field, right field today, and coming up with some huge base hits. Been a big lift for the New York Yankees.
You know, it's something to be said. He got sent down minor leagues, and kind of a wake-up call, and wasn't the starting center fielder, fourth outfielder. Now is really major contributor.
And there was some concern because he had a very good spring training. If Gardner had a better one and beat him out, that there would be that letdown where he would pout and maybe not play as hard. But he kept his focus and he got the job back. That center field job is his now. Worth swings and misses.
There are a lot of players who can learn from Melky Cabrera how to go about it, because attitude was the most important part of this whole situation. I didn't win the job. I'm going to work hard when I get my opportunity. I'm fighting for playing time. Brett Gardner in center field today, Melky in right. But I think you gain a lot of respect too in that clubhouse out from the teammates about how he went about his business.
Well, you're not always going to like a decision that a club will decide, a manager, coaching staff, general manager, but it's so long as you keep it in that little box as to, okay, fine. Whether it's an internal thing that I'll show them or I'll prove something, or just playing what you know is necessary to be a good player. You as a player.
Fastball upstairs, Worth late and count 2-2.
Power fastball and the hitter's count threw right by him. Like Dave Island said, stay out of the way. It looks like he's got all three working today. Good fastball, nice changeup, and a slider.
Swing, miss. First strikeout for CC.
Great combination right there. Elevated high fastball, blew it by him. Worth has got to respect that, but here comes a nice changeup. Bad location, but great arm speed. Out of the hand. What's making the changeup so special and difficult to hit, it looks just like your fastball. Good arm speed, 87 miles an hour, down in the zone, in the hitting area. Nice pitch.
Now here's John Mayberry Jr. in his second at bat in the big leagues, a 3-run home run off of Andy Pettitte. And that looked like it was going to hold up until the 9th inning yesterday. Called up to add a right-handed bat. Called up after Friday's game. Took a lefty out of the bullpen, so one less relief pitcher. That one's popped up left side. Alex Rodriguez runs out of room.
You can see he's got a very simple approach. He's got a big man, but he just gets that foot down early. They give him the silent treatment in that dugout. He gets a big smile. You always remember that first hit for him, a home run off of Andy Pettitte at the new Yankee Stadium. Be a big thrill. I always pay attention to young hitters when they come up. You check them out. Do they have a big stride? I mean, do they lunge? How can I exploit their weakness? Looks very simple, the approach.
There was a swap of #1 picks that Phillies sent Greg Golson for John Mayberry, and sometimes, just a change of scenery, different organization. John Mayberry's father, longtime major league player, was mentioned big, 6'6".
Off the end of the bat, Gardner and Damon. And Damon makes the play in front of Gardner for the final out of another 1-2-3 innings. So CC Sabathia 6 up and 6 down. This time the left fielder cuts in front of the center fielder. We go to the bottom of the second. Moment in Yankees history, sponsored by Mercedes. Tony Lazzari, May 24th of 1936, an American League record 11 ribbies in one game, and that was against the Philadelphia A's. Your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com. 2 grand slams and a 3-run homer. That game was not on Yes. I believe that was a Fox game. So I don't know if we have video of that. Here's Robinson Cano batting in the number 5 spot. He's had 34 previous games hitting fifth. And he had .310 in those 34 games, 3 homers and 22 ribbies. And we talked about this the other day when the Orioles were in town. Robinson Cano is the type of hitter, he can hit anywhere. He can hit anywhere in the lineup. He can be a cleanup hitter, a number 3 hitter, 2, 1, really up and down the lineup. He would be able to fill any spot.
Well, he batted second in front of Mark Teixeira for a little bit, right? Had a nice ball game. Enjoyed hitting in front of him. Thought he saw a lot of pitches to hit. And here, number 5, a little protection for Alex Rodriguez. The last 4 games. Been red hot, the 2 home runs and 6 RBIs.
Slow roller up the first baseline. And Ruiz makes the play. 1 away.
Such a devastating pitch, a changeup, especially a left-handed pitcher throwing a left-handed batter a changeup. You don't see it very often, and when you do, you see some of those swings like Robinson Cano just had in a 2-0 count, a hitter's count, fooled out front. Put that in the memory bank and remember the next time you go up there, maybe sit on it or think middle of the field a little bit more.
I think of John Olerud, a teammate of mine for years with the Blue Jays and the Mets, and played with the Yankees, and he said it with that hands down. Why lefties don't throw lefties changeup, he never understood. It's the hardest pitch for him to hit.
Grounded in the hole. Nice play by Rollins, but he can't get a handle. So it's a base hit for Cabrera.
Jimmy Rollins won the Gold Glove in 07 and 08. So a very good defensive shortstop, the backhand, but he just can't get the handle to get off the strong throw. You can see he's disappointed. Makes the tough part. The backhanded field, can't come up with the throw.
Looking to a higher authority for answers, Cole Hamels. That base hit for Melky now extends his hitting streak to 7 straight. Here's Hideki Matsui trying to find his stroke. 5 hits in his last 26 at bats, and he has dropped all the way to number 7 in the lineup. The odd thing that we've seen about Matsui in the last couple of years, he's so streaky. There could be a stretch of 2 weeks where it doesn't look as if you can get him out, and then there's a stretch of 2 weeks where he looks lost at the plate, where he's pulling off everything. But he usually does very well in interleague play. A .331 hitter against the National League.
We've seen this from Hideki Matsui. I mean, when he gets out of whack, he does fall off towards the first base dugout, but the hands kind of come with him. When he's swinging well, he still kind of pulls off a little bit, but the hands stay back. Fooled on the changeup, out in front and falling off to the right.
Well, I always thought that unorthodox swing, as you say, John, but you got to have your lower half. He's had some knee issues. You can't help his consistency with him just feeling comfortable from feet right on up in a good balanced position. You get to this point in your career, you know, you're not going to feel 100%. You deal with whatever that is on that given day.
Pedro Feliz gives it a look.
A guy like Cole Hamels, you really got to try to maybe take some chances on the base path, see if you can try to steal a base. Derek Jeter aggressive in the first inning. Hamels kind of has that leg kick. He kind of lifts it and hangs for a little bit. I wonder if the Yankees maybe pick some opportunities to run first move on Hamels, try to be aggressive on the base paths.
Yeah, lefty has to show a slide step quicken the time, because if you repeatedly have that big leg kick, as John's saying, it's all a matter of time. You just add it up. If he's pitchers try to stay under 1.5 to keep a good throwing catcher at about 2, which is major league, would be a good time to second base. And if he's the same leg kick with the high, you get a good jump.
Wasn't it Rick Peterson that did not believe in slide steps?
I don't know if it was Rick, but what I didn't like was that most of it's called from the bench, and I didn't like it because it would determine the pitch that I would throw. So if a manager decide, okay, I want a slide step here, now he's going to get a slide step from the bench, and he might want to throw a curveball. You know, the propensity to hang a curveball or something slow up in the zone if you're going to quicken your leg.
Runner goes.
Which I think is important for all pitchers to show a manager and a pitching coach, like, I will slide step and vary my speed or my leg kick. Just let me do it, because then it'll determine as to the type of pitch that I throw.
So if there's a slide step, you're pretty much throwing fastball.
I'm going to throw a fastball or something harder of the pitches, and usually I throw it away, because if I missed, I wanted it to be away from the inner part of the plate, which is danger zone really for most hitters. I see more hitters pull a home run than go the opposite way.
It is such a fine line if you're a pitcher catcher. I mean, a catcher obviously appreciates a pitcher giving him a chance to throw runners out, but you really want that focus to be on Hideki Matsui, the guy at the plate, because he can hurt you with one swing. It'll be a 2-run home run. In a worst case scenario, Melky Cabrera steals second, but you really want that pitcher focusing on the guy at the plate.
Runner goes, pitch swung and missed, and Melky is nailed on a good throw by Ruiz. So they strike him out, throw him out, double play. Pitch up in the zone, and Matsui angry with himself. Then Ruiz throws a bullet down to second base, and a quick tag by Rollins right on the sliding leg of Melky Cabrera. Third inning here at the stadium. There's no score between the Phillies and the Yankees. A pitcher's duel expected between CC Sabathia and Cole Hamels, and so far so good. Sabathia has retired all 6 Phillies he's faced. Here's Pedro Feliz, and the pitch is low, 1-0. On the Modell's scoreboard, Phillies without a hit, the Yankees with 2, and Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. And the 1-0. There's a strike.
Well, you've been talking about that changeup today, and it's taken CC Sabathia to that next level. We're facing him when he was a young lefty, just came up. There was a lot of fastballs in, good slider in. But you really didn't have to worry about anything on the outer half. changeup has been a great pitch for him.
There's a ground ball to Jeter. And there's one away.
And it's an effortless pitch, too. Once you start trusting it, and when you have a great arm like CC Sabathia, it takes a while to finally say, you know what, this is something not only I want to make my starts easier, but I need it. Because I'm not always going to have 94. And the fastball, slider, yes, it's 2 pitches. They're quality. They're above average. But now you have this third pitch. Come back-to-back with a changeup. The pitch before Felice just grounded out was right there. Missed it. Good arm speed. And now that last one was just perfect. Location, good execution.
Here's Eric Bruntlett. Now, all 3 of us today decided on our own to go with a red tie. All 3. Al's the only one who decided to go on with Clipper. What are you doing?
This
is that your son's
it's a
tie?
wins or not. That's why you get the big
But it's
fat
supposed
nut.
to go down to the
No, then it's not. Then you can't get a big nut.
Well, maybe not go with the big knot. That might be a good idea.
I'll put my jacket back on.
Swung on him. John, did you notice the lack of length of the tie?
I did, but Al said it doesn't matter when you're wearing the jacket, which he is right, but he didn't expect to.
Look at this.
That's it. I'm redoing it. That's brutal, you guys. There.
Oh, man. Count 1 and 2 on Bruntlett. And a swing and miss. 2 away.
Talked a lot about the changeup. It's that slider. It's middle down. Bruntlett was fooled on the lack of velocity, the good break down in the zone. Boy, it's a tough at bat. You got to cover away with a changeup. Thinking about 95 in on your hands. Speed your bat up a little bit. You swing right over the top.
And what a task. Charlie Manuel giving Chase Utley the day off. Eric Bruntlett, good defensive guy, utility guy, about 129 coming into today's game against CC Sabathia.
Pitch to Ruiz is high.
Ruiz has been impressive, just throwing out Melky Cabrera, but also the 271 average. Had a nice series. Had yesterday off, but had a nice series here Friday night. Good ball game.
Great ball game. First home run of the year off of A.J. Burnett. Was 3 for 4. Good fastball hitter.
Good catch and throw guy, runs his staff, now walking around with a World Series ring on his finger, does a lot for your confidence.
Foul back, 2-1. Let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Over 100 HD channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios. This is big. Phil Hughes against Matt Harrison. Coverage begins at 1:30 from Texas, and game time at 2 o'clock right here on Yes. There's a strike. I asked Joe Girardi, is this Phil Hughes pitching for a start in rotation? He said no. He's in the rotation. He said Jimmy Wong's not yet ready to start games. He said, so this is not like a do or die start for him. He's in the rotation. So we'll see how it plays out. Crowd looking for a strikeout. There's a ground ball up the middle and a base hit directly over second. And that's the first base runner for the Phillies.
Good hitting. Sid mentioned the first game in this series, 3 for 4. Changeup, comes back with another changeup. It's up enough, but that's good piece of hitting. Instead of pulling off the ball, which is what a pitcher wants a right-handed batter to do, he stayed on long enough, had his hands back. Grounder up the middle. That's good hitting.
Been impressed with Ruiz. Like I said, he had a nice ball game the other night. Throws well, catches well. Signed by Sal Augustinelli, who I played against in the minor leagues, was a catcher. You always remember that name, Sal Augustinelli. Actually signed him as a second baseman, converted him to a catcher.
Jimmy Rollins laces one into right center. Diving is Brett Gardner that gets by it. Backing up is Melky Cabrera. Ruiz is coming home, and he is going to score. Rollins gets himself a double, a gamble by Gardner, a gamble that he lost. It's 1-0 Phils.
First pitch swinging, drives it to center field. Like you said, Brett Gardner made a decision. He was going to gamble right off the end of his glove. You're banking on Melky Cabrera backing you up. A good relay throw. Robinson Cano doesn't come up with it, but Brett Gardner, a good bid, just out of his reach, trusting that your right fielder is going to be there backing up. He does. Actually, if Robinson Cano makes a clean catch on that relay throw, I thought they had a play on Ruiz at the plate.
You know, a couple things. You see the way Gardner, he had a decision as to whether he's going to pull up or not. Obviously, he didn't. You know, the runner at first base is not very fast. As you mentioned, that if Cano handled it cleanly, that would have been a bang-bang play.
Victorino rips from the left field. That's a base hit. Rollins round third. He'll score. The throw comes into second. An RBI single for Victorino. Just like that. It's 2-0 Phils.
All of this with 2 outs. An innocent base hit by Ruiz on a changeup. Just slaps it right back up the middle. Rollins gets a double, and now a fastball is down and in. Victorino jumps all over it. The Phillies doing a nice job with 2 outs. CC Sabathia, you got to finish up the inning. He's not been able to, and it's cost him a few runs.
So Victorino leads off first, held there by Teixeira. Here is Ibanez. And the breaking ball is high, 1-0.
Victorino a threat to run. He has 5 stolen bases, have been thrown out twice. 2 outs here. He might stay at first to keep that hole open between first and second for the left-handed hitting Ibanez.
Count 2-0.
Well, that's, you know, just watching CC. That's one of those innings where you know you're out of it. You want your fielders to be aggressive and go after it, what Brett Gardner did. It's just you step back and say, okay, you know, regroup, make some pitches here. It's like Victorino hit a nice pitch down and in. Just kind of slow it down. Emotions can sometimes get the best of you for sure.
Ibanez chases a high fastball.
Chased the high fastball, but it looked like he had one thing on his mind. He was quick there looking to pull that ball, trying to get out in front and hook it. And that's usually not the swing we see from Ibanez, more of a left center guy against the lefties, but took an opportunity trying to go deep there and swung right through it.
Well, he got his fastball. That's what he should be looking for, a 2-0 count.
Broken bat pop-up. Derek Jeter's there. And puts it away for the final out. But the Phillies with 2 outs get 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the third, 2-0 Phillies. On Yes is brought to you in part by BigTimeBats.com. Get your authentic Monument Park bricks from the house that Ruth built. By Firestone, a tradition of innovation. And by Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the New York Yankees. We go to the bottom of the third inning at Yankee Stadium, and the Phillies lead the Yankees 2-0. And Francisco Cervelli will lead it off. There's the Modell's Sporting Goods scoreboard. I'll tell you all about it. And Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. So the Yankees have had a hit in each inning, but Cole Hamels has kept them off the board. And the stylish left-hander deals. That one's ripped down the left field line. It is a base hit. It'll go into the corner up against the wall. Cervelli's going for two. He will make it. It's a leadoff double for Francisco Cervelli.
Cervelli is definitely giving the Yankees a lift since he's been called up. He gets a fastball in the inner half and clears it out of there easily. Kevin Long, the hitting instructor, said he came up here. He was not using his lower half. He's incorporated his legs into his swing. A nice quick bat. Drills this pitch down the left field line. Yankees in business here in the third.
That's going to bring up Brett Gardner. Brett has 6 hits in his last 16 at bats. And that's Cervelli's first career double. And the pitch to Gardner is low, 1-0.
You mentioned Kevin Long talking about Cervelli's swing. You look at Cervelli in the minor leagues, you know, he was considered really very good defensively, decent batter, but so far, nice surprise.
There's something to be said, Al, when you first come up to the big leagues and you have that adrenaline and that excitement. Sometimes maybe you play a little bit over your ability, and Cervelli right now has just been a very pleasant surprise.
And has allowed the Yankees to be more patient with Posada and Molina's injury. Popped up behind the plate. Ruiz runs out of room. It's 2-1. Hey fans, it's time for the Toyota text poll. Today's question is, who's the best lefty starter in the majors? You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. That's quite a rotation right there. Cole Hamels, number 1. Cliff Lee, number 2. Number 3, CC Sabathia. Number 4, Johan Santana. We'll find out your votes a little bit later on. Two and two. Used to be a lefty starter, huh?
I used to be, yes. Played one on TV.
Now you had now you have a short tie. Pitched the big time World Series games.
If I had that changeup there, we saw a couple really good changeup guys. And well, now he's starting to throw changeup, but Johan Santana, I think, has got the most unhittable changeup in the game. Cole Hamels isn't far behind.
Now I've been told a lot by people, Al, that you can't have a cutter, which was your big pitch. You can't have a cutter and throw a change. It's just a different hand.
It's real hard. The way the ball comes out as a cutter or a slider, your hand is inverted, and a changeup, you really have to stay inside the ball and almost throw it like a screwball. There it is again. And it's hard. Yeah, I mean, I thought when Tom Glavine came over to the Mets, I thought, wow, this is going to be great. I go in on the righties, and he's made a career of turning the ball over and going away, and I'll pick something up, and boy, I'll have him going both ways. I couldn't. John Franco is a guy who had a great changeup. Andy Pettit, good cutter, slider. Occasional change.
The 2-2. Well, Andy Pettit and Mariano Rivera are perfect examples. When they first came up to the Yankees, their out pitch was a changeup. Then they were taught the cutter, and they lost the change. They lost the ability to throw a good change. Andy incorporates it every now and then, but his bread and butter pitch is his cutter. Andy gave the Yankees more length yesterday. Made that one mistake to Mayberry, but the Yankees erased it in the bottom of the ninth. There's Jabba, who was going to start on Tuesday, so his knee is fine. Cervelli leads off second, and the pitch. is lined right at Bruntlett. They try to get the double play. They cannot.
Good at bat for Brett Gardner. Your idea is you want to get Cervelli to third. You want to pull the ball, and he does. Just hits a line drive right at Bruntlett. But nice base running by Francisco Cervelli. You want to get that good jump to try to score from second base. He did a nice job freezing on the line drive. Make sure you get back. You don't get doubled up. A lot of times you see here, he wants to get that good jump, but you froze, got back to second base safely. You usually see young base runners trying to be too aggressive. Nice job.
Here's Derek Jeter. Line shot to left field for a base hit. That was in the first inning, and stole third later in the inning. It is amazing what postseason success can do for your profile. Everybody always thought that Cole Hamels had the potential to be a very good pitcher. But Al mentioned during his scouting report he won the MVP in the NLCS and then in the World Series. And now he's thought of on a completely different plane, different level by people, because if you could succeed in the cauldron of pressure that's the postseason, I think people look at you differently. The 1-0.
Well, and also, too, forget about the baseball fan, because they know so much more today with internet and fantasy and all that. But, you know, when you get to postseason, now it perks up even the casual fan, and they pay attention. And you see his resume, first round pick by the Phillies, and now it's put him on the map.
See what he did in the World Series. Overall in the playoffs, Al, 4-0, 1.80 last year.
I think about like big calls and moments in the career. Joe Carter, you know, the late Tom Cheek, touch the ball, Joe, you'll never hit a bigger one. I think with Paul Molitor, all those years in Milwaukee, never having been in the playoffs, becomes a world champ. It really does. That whole championship team stuff and World Series postseason, it puts you to a whole other level.
And the 1-2. And the guy at the plate has proved positive of that. Derek Jeter has excelled in big games. He has an innate ability to come up big in big situations, and I think that's only enhanced his reputation. And then you look at his teammate Alex Rodriguez, who's won 3 MVPs and has never been able to get a championship, and I think that that's a line that's missing on his resume.
Derek has so much success that you can draw upon. The confidence level goes up in those big time spots. And I think the ability to relax too. You know, Derek is one of those guys, the pressure is on. He's able to relax, slow the game down like Al was talking about.
And swung on and foul tip into the mitt of Ruiz. Now Jeter's saying that it hit the dirt. He wants the home plate umpire to check with Randy Marsh. Here comes Joe Girardi. Right now it's a strikeout.
Home plate umpire Mike Estabrook said that he saw it. It'd be tough to be looking at the pitch. A foul ball. Derek Jeter asking for a little bit of help. Sounded like you heard a little ricochet off of the dirt there.
It bounced. It did bounce.
Well, what John was saying, you can't see the pitch, the location as to whether it's a ball or strike, and then also see whether it bounced. They listen for sound, and you definitely can hear that little hop.
Well, Cervelli remains at second. Here's Johnny Damon now. Count 1-0. You always wonder, though, why wouldn't the umpire check this? I mean, what's the harm in checking? Maybe the first base umpire did see that it bounced. Rip foul.
That's true. That is a call that they don't check. Right? They'll check it, obviously, for a swing. Get some help. Do you see Oakland umpire do that?
Well, you see guys, I think, check when they're not sure. It looked like Mike Estabrook, the home plate umpire, thought he was positive that, yes, He did catch it, but you know, you're looking down at Randy Marsh, the crew chief at first base. You would think maybe he would come in and say, I got a good look at that. But then there's that, do I show up my partner by overruling his call? I just want to get the play right.
And if he's so sure that he got it right, what would be the harm in checking anyway?
Valid point, Mike.
Cervelli leads off second. You saw that stat. Hamill really bears down with runners in scoring position. I think over his last 7 starts, at 1 for 21 in these spots.
Big spot for Hamels. You can get out of this inning after giving up a leadoff double, and deflating for the Yankees if you cannot capitalize and at least put one on the board. Such a game of momentum.
Strike to Dame.
Boy, that pitch right there, you just wonder what Johnny's sitting on. 3-1 fastball, looked pretty much middle of the plate, belt high. Just chose he's taking the pitch, I guess.
You know what, Al, you bring up a good point, because there's so many thoughts that go through your head as a hitter. You know, is he going to come right at me? He has first base open. He's in a bad count. And you start thinking about all these different things. The next thing you know, you get a good pitch to hit, and you don't pull the trigger.
3-2. Line drive down the right field line. There's a base hit. It'll go to the wall. Cervelli will score. Damon's going for 2. He's in there. RBI double. Yankees on the board. And the Philly lead is now 2-1.
We saw Johnny's reaction of not pulling the trigger on the fastball. He gets a changeup down and in. Sweet spot for any left-handers, especially Johnny Damon. Pulling his hands, able to keep this ball fair. Double down the line, his 10th of the season. Nice at bat. Good recovery. Hustling into second base, scoring Francisco Cervelli.
Here's Mark Teixeira, and there's that change. 0-1.
A lot of 2-out hitting early on in this ball game in the 3rd inning. Philly scored all their runs with 2 outs. Johnny Damon, a big 2-out knock. Those are the ones that your teammates really get fired up about. Would have been a missed opportunity.
Count 1-1. On deck is Alex Rodriguez. Teixeira grounded out in the 1st inning, grounded out to short. Teixeira's stance on the right side much more open than from the left.
And way off the plate, Michael. You see, almost reminds me of, remember Andres Galarraga? He was way off the plate, open, and he's a guy, you see that as a pitcher, you know he's going to dive into the plate, because he can't cover the outside part of the plate if he doesn't. And this front foot over here, his movement is going to be right toward home plate, so he can cover this outside part of the plate.
The 2-1.
So that's a good pitch. Big, strong guys generally like the ball away so they can get extension. Just went further inside, but you see his movement heading toward home plate.
(3-1). Grounded foul.
I was paying attention there in a 3-1 count. Johnny Damon got a fastball 3-1. Mark Teixeira did not. He got a changeup on a 3-1 count. A little quick, pulls it foul. I talked about Johnny with those thoughts going through your mind. Mark Teixeira with Alex Rodriguez, since he's been back, it seemed like he's not thinking at all at the plate. Knows he's going to see good pitches to hit, and he's ready for them when he gets them.
Now, I talked to Teixeira about his resurgence since A-Rod's return. And I always said, you know, you struggled so much in April. You don't need an excuse, but was that bad wrist a problem? He said, I'm not using it as an excuse, but I will tell you this. He said, when you have a bad wrist, you can't work as much as you want. I have to work on both sides of my swing. He said, so maybe I didn't get enough swings in, and that's my fault. He said, but I couldn't push the wrist that much. But he's fine now. The 3-2. Grounded and through for a base hit. Damon rounds third. Here he comes. The throw from Wertz is in time. Good tag by Ruiz, and he held on. So Johnny Damon tries to score on the hard single by Teixeira, but a good throw by Jason Worth and a good block of the plate by Carlos Ruiz. There was no place for Damon to go, and Ruiz held on to get the final out. Phillies played good defense, no different right there, but the Yankees get a run on 3 hits, and 1 man is left. We played 3, 2-1 Phillies. The home plate kind. Good throw by Worth, blocking of the plate by Ruiz, and if you get inside there, you see Johnny's trying to dislodge that ball. Ruiz held on to record the final out. So it's 2-1 Phillies. Ryan Howard grounds one up the middle, and Jeter fields, fires to first, but it gets past Teixeira. Backing up is Cervelli. So Ryan Howard gets an infield hit. They'll score that a base hit. Here's another look at Damon trying to come in.
You see Ruiz is blocking the plate. Johnny's trying to get in there and knock the ball out of the mitt. Ruiz will not have any part of it, but Ruiz goes in there and blocks the plate. He's pretty much telling Johnny Damon, you can run me over if you want, but I'm going to be locked in here. Decided to slide. Couldn't get the ball out of the glove.
Now, if you're in that spot, I mean, are you aware that that's fair game?
Oh,
knowing where you are.
If you're a catcher and you decide I'm going to block the plate, you give in my opinion, give the runner no choice but to run you over. You're saying, here I am. If you're going to want home plate, you got to come through me. Johnny Damon saw that, decided to go with the slide, and it didn't work out. But a catcher will sometimes set up in front of the plate, trying to force a runner to slide, and then you take the plate away from him. Ruiz right there said, here I am. You want me, you can come right through me. Very impressive play. Nice pick, too, on a short hop.
Now, take me inside the catcher's mind, though, John. Are you just sacrificing the body knowing that you could get hurt?
You know, and it all depends on the throw. You know, Ruiz had a great angle to see the throw from Worth.
And Worth tries to bunt, bunts foul.
He saw it was going to be perfect, so it makes your decision. Okay, it's going to be a perfect throw. I'm going to go in front of home plate and block it, and you are risking an injury. But we talked about how he's been impressive with the bat in this series. The Phillies love him, the way he works behind the plate, calling a game and showing some toughness, willing to take a shot.
Now, in terms of the runner, did Johnny do the wrong thing sliding in? Should he have really gone in and tried to dislodge the ball, shoulder first?
You know, that's up to the base runner. When he comes around third base, he has to make a decision on what the catcher is doing. And Ruiz basically said, I'm blocking it. You're going to have to make a choice. Johnny decided to go with the slide, and it didn't work out. I
would think that when you slide into shin guards, you have a chance to get hurt rather than the other way around. But everybody seems to be okay. 1-1. 2-1.
We'll talk about the Phillies team as a whole. Their starting rotation has not been good. They have a good bullpen, good arms out there. Brad Lidge blew the game yesterday, but they have very good defense. 12 errors into tonight's game.
Popped up. Rodriguez shades his eyes, and he puts it away for the first out. Time of the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. On this date in 1936, Tony Lazzari became the first player to hit 2 grand slams in the same game. Who is the only player to hit 2 grand slams in the same inning? We'll find that out in the bottom of the 4th. Pitch to Mayberry is outside. John Mayberry's dad is actually connected in some way to Yankee lore. He was the first baseman when Chris Chambliss hit that home run off Mark Littell to send the Yankees into the World Series. Bedlam in the Bronx. That's a lot more than pies. What a moment.
John Mayberry Jr. just had a fastball to hit, fouled it off. He said after his first at bat, it looks like he's got a nice simple approach, not much of a stride, gets that front foot down early. A simple swing, had 8 home runs at AAA, 25 RBIs. Has some power.
And for Scouting Report, when Major League pitchers have obviously faced him, generally speaking, you could say a minor league guy coming up with a lot of accolades can hit the fastball. That separates good major league hitting and pitching as to what they see with off-speed stuff.
Let's take a look at a scouting report on John Mayberry Jr. Good bloodlines. Michael talked about his dad, first baseman for Houston, Kansas City, Toronto, and the Yankees at the end of his career. And you always remember the first. First major league hit was a home run off Andy Pettitte yesterday. The AAA leader in home run and RBIs, 8 homers, 25 RBIs, AAA for the Phillies.
277. Looped into right field. Melky Cabrera is there. Fires behind Howard, but no double play. John Mayberry Sr. was at the game yesterday. He's at the game again today. And in that Chris Chambliss game, there's John Mayberry. He actually hit a home run for the Royals that gave them the lead. I would think that being a dad, and both of the guys to my left certainly are, watching the kids play probably more pressure than playing yourself. Because you have no control over what your kid's doing.
You're definitely more nervous.
How about you, John?
Oh, I definitely think you're more nervous, and like you said, just because you have no control over it. I mean, when Al and I were out on the field, you were in your element, you were doing your thing, but sitting up in the stands watching your son, I mean, first of all, you got to be incredibly proud. Pulling for him, want him to do well, get off to a good start, and he did yesterday. Something, though, for these kids, you know, being around major league clubhouses their whole young adult life. They get to the big leagues. You're not in awe of the situation. It just feels like what you're used to your whole life.
Well, I think of Ken Griffey Jr., right? As you say that, all those years with his dad, the Big Red Machine and the Yankees.
1-1. There's a strike.
And there's been a lot, really, father and son. Mel Stoudemire, Todd.
Bonds. Barry and Bobby.
Boones.
The Bells.
Jason Kendall and his dad.
Neat stuff.
And the 1-2. Popped up. Shallow center. coming on Brett Gardner, and he'll put it away for the final out of the fourth. So the leadoff single does no damage. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. CC is trailing 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. On this date in 36, Tony Lazzari became the first player to hit 2 grand slams in the same game. Who's the only player to hit 2 grand slams in the same inning? The answer is Fernando Tatis, now with the Mets, then with the Cards, back in 1999 against the Dodgers. Here's Alex Rodriguez.
Hope it wasn't the same pitcher. Would have been rough. Ooh.
There's a strike. Alex struck out in the first inning with Derek Jeter at third, 2 outs. He has 10 hits, 7 of them are home runs. High on base percentage, though. Foul back.
With all records and stats and all that, that's got to be some kind of stat, huh? 10 hits.
Well, Alex is the first player in Yankees history to hit as many as 7 of his first 10 hits of a season for home runs. The last major leaguer to do it was Jack Cust in 2007.
Joe Girardi yesterday after the game said it's a good sign when you see Alex going the other way. He had the 2-run home run to tie the ball game up. And you would think in this ballpark it would be a perfect fit. When Alex is right, hitting the ball the other way, the ball carries well.
Which you just mentioned, when he's right. Watching batting practice, I watched Friday with his BP. Fantastic batting practice. And the entire time his approach was that right center field. You can attest to this, but when hitters talk about struggling and they're just not right, they go back to the basics, and that's driving the ball up the middle or the other way. In this case, right center field for right-hander, left center for lefty. Keeps them on the baseball longer. They track it longer.
You know, the bottom line is trust that I can handle the ball on the inner half without looking for it. You know, maybe that at bat against Brad Lidge, maybe that does that, where, you know, he saw all slider, 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 and then got a fastball and was still able to take care of it. You have to have that trust that you don't have to cheat a little bit on that ball inside. And Alex slowly but surely getting to that point.
Which really identifies the hitters that are hot or the ones that are premier hitters. They're able to stay back longer, identify the pitch, location as to when they want to swing.
Change. And Hamels looks sharp.
Well, let's take a look at the pitch by pitch. He starts him off with a changeup here, floats it down and away. Fastball, strike, gets a call. High fastball is probably the pitch he would have liked. Pitch inside, just missing. Changeup, Alex out in front of the changeup. Just in Alex's fight mode. He saw that ball. pretty good, and then that changeup. That's a good combination of change in speeds and location.
Here's Cano. Count 1-0.
Well, you mentioned changing speed. You see 88 miles an hour for the fastball. The changeup has pretty much been 80 miles an hour. Usually you see guys who are changeup pitchers is more 10 to 15 miles an hour off. He must do a great job selling it with that high leg kick.
Well, and then you could go to Mussina, and I know that was a real special year that he had last year, but he was sometimes 20 miles an hour. And that's hard to do without really telegraphing your arm speed and slowing your body down, because that's what a hitter will pick up.
A lot of times emotion will sell the changeup for you. We talk about Hamels with the high leg kick. Kind of comes over the top, more like a jump at home plate. I think that's what's making that pitch more effective than the actual lack of velocity off of the fastball.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because you know, people say what's the most important thing. Well, throwing strikes, late movement, but can a pitcher hide the baseball long? And what that means is that there are batters that'll say, God, they can see the baseball 94, 95 miles an hour. Yes, it's got good velocity, but they can pick the ball up sooner. And then you got a guy sneaking by a lot of hitters, 88, 89. They're not getting good swings. They're fouling off, and they can't pick up the baseball. And what John's describing is the pitcher's ability to stay closed long enough, front side closed, to hide the ball when it comes out of that release point area.
Yeah, not seeing Hamels a lot. I was expecting a changeup in the mid-70s, but it's been around 80 miles an hour all day.
Grounded right side. Bruntlett bobbles, and there's no play. That'll be no man's land there, because Howard also went for it. And then Bruntlett knew that he would have to lead Cole Hamels at first. We'll see how they score it.
Well, I know as a pitcher, I identified it and understood. I wanted my first baseman to get whatever he could, and I'm not sure where Bruntlett started. It's an error on Bruntlett before. That was just too far for Ryan Howard to get to. That's just in a perfectly placed spot. Looked like Bruntlett was playing a little more up the middle.
Here's Melky Cabrera.
You go into a ball game and you're facing a top flight starting pitcher like Hamels. You know, you got to take advantage of every situation that presents itself. There, an error with one out by the second baseman Bruntlett. If you're the Yankees, you just caught a little bit of a break. We'll see if they can capitalize on that. They got an extra out.
Every time a pitcher throws over, the first base coach and respective base runners, they try to pick up any nuance in the pitcher's delivery, because there'll be something in delivery that they'll pick up. As far as you know, head movement, does he look home to throw to first? Does he keep his head long or left-handed? You know, that's a little different, because there's guys that to the right side you go when he breaks his front leg. I think Andy Pettit, great move. You know, was able to hang long enough.
Well, you watch him, Al. I mean, when he does that little hang with that front leg, can you just hang there and wait to see the reaction of the runner? And if he doesn't go, then you drift towards home plate?
I couldn't, but maybe he's got enough balance on his backside to be able to do it. I don't believe he can. I just think it looks good.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes the right there. It's still in no man's land for a runner to think, is he still going to come over? But I think he's already identified it.
Also, when it looks like he's coming home, Al, he's leaning forward on the back leg. It would be hard for him to go to first out there.
I know. I had a lot of balks, and a lot of it was I knew when I had a big leg kick, I could see the runner. And if he was taken off, I used to just throw over in hopes that I could maybe not balk, because I knew the runner was going to be safe anyway.
Your name actually came into the forefront last week. Mike Pelfrey had 3 balks, and that tied your record. Do you remember the 3-balk game?
I don't remember. I knew I balked a lot with the Mets, because just for that reason, I used to hang long, and you know, later career from Piazza, he didn't have as a strong arm as most of the guys. So to kind of help him out, or help us out, was, when I saw a big lead, I would just throw over, and I wasn't able to be balanced enough to where it didn't look like I was coming home. But that game, I remember for a few years, umpires were calling where you had to really wait to come set.
Is that when they had their spring training with the lines drawn on the mound? Remember that?
That may have been, because it was in Toronto. I think it was in, I don't know what year it was, 94 or somewhere. And no, but there was a period of time where they would make you come set, like literally 1/1000, 2 within like 3 seconds. And it seemed like if you came down 1/1000 wasn't enough. And I used to kind of bounce a little bit. I'd come and and then quick, just vary my speeds, vary my stops and my cadence, because I didn't have a good move, and that was my only way to give the catcher a chance.
Runner goes, and that's grounded softly to third, fielded by Felice. He fires across the diamond to get Melky as Cano advances to second.
Tonight at 8 o'clock on Yes, the legendary Paul Simon sits down for center stage, hosted by Michael Kay. The singer-songwriter looks back on his career, including his early days growing up in New York, and meeting Joe DiMaggio. In center stage, Paul Simon, tonight at 8, only on Yes.
Boy, Paul's here all the time. He's here again today. That was a fun show to do. So if you have a chance and you have the time on this holiday weekend, tune into that. You will enjoy it. Tell some great stories. He's got some great stories to tell. Here's Matsui. Tying runs at second base, bottom of the fourth. 1-0. Hamill's last 3 starts, 2-0, 2.84. He's had 1 previous start in his career against the Yankees. 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. He lost in that game. He's thrown 74 pitches so far today. High fly ball, left field. Worth shades his eyes and puts it away for the final out, so they strand Melky Cabrera. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left. We go to the 5th inning at the New House on a beautiful Sunday in the Bronx. It's 2-1 Phils. Yankee Stadium, Yankees and the Phillies. The Phillies lead 2-1. Joe Girardi had a long talk with Mike Estabrook between innings. Nothing animated, but it seemed as if he was addressing possible balk moves or something like that. They seem to be working with their hands and how Cole Hamels is setting, but we'll see if that plays out. Here's Eric Bruntlett. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Melky Cabrera puts it away. 1 pitch. One down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees.
Obviously, we don't know, but if Girardi was talking about a balk move, I would go to Randy Marsh at first base with a left-hander. He's the one that's going to call that balk, meaning a leg kick or something with the hands, because he's got the best vantage point.
On the Lexus scoreboard, Yankees are trailing this one 2-1 in the 5th inning. Pitches low to Ruiz. 2-4-1 on the Lexus, 1-5-0 for the Yanks. Sabathia has a very good pitch count here in the 5th inning, just 62 pitches thrown. And the 1-0. Lofted to right field. Coming on is Melky Cabrera. 2 outs.
Pitch count is in good shape for CC. The most he's thrown this year, 122. Pretty much averaging somewhere around the 110 pitch count mark.
Yeah, the whole pitch count. I mean, here's a guy is a true workhorse. Down the stretch with the Brewers, pitched on 3 days rest, and he's a big man. So you know, each and every pitcher has their own zone or area in which you have to be careful. I know every time with Mussina, it seemed like right at the 100 pitch mark, he's done, or you would take him out. And you know, it's how you get there too. I know much has been said about that. We see the Rangers have turned around their season. They're in first place in the West. Nolan Ryan came in and said, look, you know, forget pitch counts. We need for pitchers to get deeper in the game, a different workout routine. I'm not saying be irregardless of it or careless and have guys go with crazy numbers, but how do you get to the 100 pitches? Did you labor through it?
Well, Joe Girardi has said that he feels very comfortable if Sabathia throws 120 pitches every time out. He said, I just feel comfortable with it. And obviously Sabathia does as well.
I know it's a total different scientific level now with biomechanics and ASMI with Dr. Andrews and all this data. Somewhere you got to, like as you said, Girardi and Dave Island, they feel comfortable with the 120 pitch count for him.
Popped up. Robinson Cano will put it away in an easy 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th for Sabathia, and he did it on 7 pitches. We're halfway through. Phillies 2 and the Yankees 1. music and computer world. And by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Well, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and Francisco Cervelli will start it off. It'll be Cervelli, Gardner, and Jeter. Cervelli led off the 3rd. The inning the Yankees plated their only run. Pitch outside, 1-0.
Yeah, Michael, I thought you brought up a great point before, how Cervelli is playing. Yankees don't have to rush Jorge Posada, Jose Molina. They're going to head down to Tampa, continue to work, maybe get into some rehab games. But a big difference when the Yankees were struggling and they kind of had to get Alex Rodriguez back. You almost felt like maybe a little bit too soon, but Cervelli playing so well, there's no rush.
Joe Girardi joked before the game today as Cervelli grounds one. Nice play there by Felice across the diamond. One away that they have a bus going down to Tampa after the game. It's let's see, it's Posada, Molina, Ransom, and Nady. Lexus scoreboard 2-1. Phillies over the Yanks. They say that Posada is probably a bit further along than Molina. Molina has a serious injury. I mean, it seems that quad injury is one that takes a long time. In fact, it's the quad injury that put Ransom on the 60-day DL. And as for Nady, if he can actually hit, they're not going to have him throw for a long time. So if he does return to the Yankees, it's going to be more in a DH role before they could work up the nerve for him to throw, because he's obviously got a damaged elbow in that right arm.
Getting back to Molina, I had some quad problems during my career, and really the problem is when you come out of the crouch when you're backing up to back up first base. It's when those quads lock up on you. So Molina, you have to take some time with that.
Your quads okay now?
They feel great now.
Yeah.
How's your quads?
Mine are good. I don't even know if I have them.
I was going to say, do you have quads?
Count 1-2. Now, you mentioned Nolan Ryan, the president of the Rangers, and how he wants to institute, I guess, a tougher pitching staff. And what he did over the winter is he had them go on a running program. He made them run some more. Do you think that that would build up endurance?
Yes, I do think, it's funny you mentioned that. Mike Torres, long-time Major League pitcher, Yankee great. He believes that. We were talking at length one day about, just guys don't run as much. And I believe that, because when I first came in, the running program with your pitching coach was just a lot of long distance. You see pitchers running in the outfield, and you just don't see it as much. I don't know whether it's just they're in the weight room, and I know at the end of my career after 3 knee surgeries, I had, I was on the EFX and the treadmill. I think it has something to do with it, yeah. And whatever's going on in Texas, they lead the American League right now in complete games.
How about Chin-Ming Wong? I mean, with the foot injury, maybe not being able to run as much, could that be a lack of the velocity that we haven't seen?
Grounded to second. Bruntlets right there. And Gardner hustling down the line is out for the second out. Do you think it could be?
I do. I think there's an absolute correlation with endurance. We were talking about pitch counts and how you can sustain that. And there's different ways of getting there through, a lot of long distance. We used to call them flushes. If you were on a given, on a road trip tomorrow, CC, whoever the starter was, you'd get out and run in the parking lot or run around the stadium or, just run for an hour. And, I'm sure guys are still doing that, but it just seems like I see it less.
Now, my memory serves me correctly, Al. You used to run in the outfield, right? And seriously, in the minor leagues, you got smashed in the face, right?
You remember?
Yeah.
I did. That was terrible. Roberto Kelly, off the bat. And
during BP
at Columbus. And I got hit in the face. 400 feet away on the run. Kenny Rose, the AAA pitching coach for the Yankees at the time, he threw me, they used to do the football pass. Yeah. I'm about ready to catch the ball off the pitching coach. Rich Bordy, the guy with the Orioles, and he played with the Yankees a little bit, was watching at perfect time. Roberto Kelly hit him in the face. He talked about that a lot.
Line drive, base hit to right field. Jeter with 2 hits. Well, the captain did give you a hit, and he's also given you his 16th multi-hit game of the year. Tomorrow, Anyas catch a Memorial Day matinee as the Yankees start a series against the Rangers in Texas. Coverage starts at 1:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then John Flaherty and Ken Singleton have the call from the ballpark at Arlington. Yankees and the Rangers, it all starts tomorrow at 1:30 only on Yes.
Should be about 110 down there.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll give you guys a call and let you know how the starting pitchers are doing, and Nolan Ryan's program. I'll let you know tomorrow.
I'll watch. Don't worry, I'll be watching. I'll watch everything you say.
I will.
I'm looking forward to seeing Texas. They're one of those teams they could always swing the bat. Now the pitching staff looks like it's gotten better.
Great infield. All 4 infielders are doing very well. And Ian Kinsler has emerged as a great second baseman. Great hitting second baseman.
We talked about Nolan Ryan and that pitching staff. I think a lot of it is that the attitude going in that I'm going to be the guy to finish this game. CC Sabathia has that attitude every time he takes the hill. He said, you know what, forget about the bullpen. This is my game.
And there's certain places too, and Texas is one of them. Of course, Colorado, Coors Field, where pitchers you could really play into the whole. Well, it's a hitter's park. The ball flies. 5 ERA is okay. Well, no. And it really starts with your front-end guys. Kevin Millwood, who pitched the second game against Java. Vincent Padilla. Matt Harrison tomorrow. He's really started off very good. It is definitely a mindset.
That one's lofted to left. Rollins out, Worth in. And Worth will make the play for the final out of the 5th. So it's the pitcher's duel that we all imagine. Cole Hamels against CC Sabathia. Both of them dealing, and the Phillies are leading 2-1 as we go to the 6th. Yes, we get our Green Mountain K-Cup coffee system from the same people who bring us our office supplies. W.B. Mason. Who but? Well, we go to the 6th inning here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. CC Sabathia has thrown 67 pitches through 5, and Cole Hamels has thrown 89 pitches through 5. And Shane Victorino will lead off against Sabathia. Count 1-0. Victorino's RBI single, the difference in this game right now. That came in the 3rd inning, all with 2 outs. Single by Ruiz, double by Rollins, single by Victorino. There's a strike.
think back to that inning. Brett Gardner had that good bid on the ball from Rollins just out of his reach. Led to a couple of runs.
That one's lofted into right center field. It is a base hit. Cutting over is Gardner. Victorino is held to a single. Victorino decided to break it down, and that was right before Gardner bobbled that ball. So Victorino's on with a single with the big guys coming up.
Victorino, a guy who can really run. He hits this ball to right center. Should be thinking double. And Brett Gardner is not the best throwing arm in the league. The Yankees catch a break. See if he's thinking too coming out of the box. It looks like he is. And once he sees Brett Gardner get there to cut it off, he stops. Then he thinks about it after he bobbled it. Surprising decision.
That one's fouled back off the bat of Ibanez.
CC Sabathia has really done a nice job on Ibanez the first couple of at bats. He's thrown some good fastballs early in the count. Got to get him sped up, and then he's dropped that slider on the outside corner, and Ibanez has been out in front. A weak ground ball and a pop-up. See if he stays with the same plan.
Count 1-1.
Ibanez is the only one with some significant history. 36 at bats coming into today. 10 for 36, 2 home runs in those 10 hits. All with Seattle and Kansas City.
He's looking to redirect one of those high fastballs. He's been jumping on that.
He's getting him a little too high, though. CeCe's doing a nice job when he elevates just a little bit above his hands. Swings right underneath it, but it's been a nice combination. High fastballs, then you drop the slider down in the dirt.
Pull that one again. You see a hitter aggressive and getting the pitch that he wants, just throw it out of the zone. Go higher than high.
That one's driven into right center field, giving chase is Gardner. He can't get there, and it's a hopper up against the wall. Victorino's going to score, and Ibanez with an RBI double, and that is rare because Ibanez is a left-handed batter who just got an extra base hit against CC Sabathia.
Let's take a look at the pitch by pitch. Fastball, he jumped on it, he was late. Slider, kind of just see the reaction. And that high pitch, this is what he tried to do here, and he didn't. You see the location, middle of the plate. Cervelli was setting up on the outside corner. Elevate, drive that ball up in the zone. That pitch was too good to hit.
Let's take a look at the IOTV HD Super Shot, the point of contact.
Perfect. You see about the height of that pitch. It was belt high, ended up being middle of the plate.
But you're right, Al. As a hitter, you're surprised you got that good of a pitch to hit in a 1-2 count. Made good pitches the whole ball game to Ibanez. Made a mistake there.
How rare a mistake coming into this game. Lefty batters did not have an extra base hit in 152 regular season at bats against Sabathia. So Ibanez gets an RBI double.
And that's a remarkable stat. I think that's over 26 starts. It's a 27th start. It's a long time and a lot of at bats.
That one is driven to right field. Going back, Melky Cabrera, and he makes the play. Ibanez was well off the bag and has to hustle back, so no tag there. Howard scalded that one for the second out. Well, check that for the first out.
Howard gets a fastball inside, turns it around on a line. A nice play by Melky Cabrera getting back. Probably not the best base running decision by Ibanez. If that ball gets over Melky's head, he should be able to score easily. Probably should have been a few feet off the bag and then come back if he catches it and you tag. He sees a little more than halfway, and then once he sees Melky catch it, he can't get back to tag up. You're caught in that situation, maybe hang about 5 feet off the base, nobody out, then you go back and tag up.
Here's Jason Worth, struck out and popped at third. And a strike. Sabathia has slowed down considerably with a little bit of a jam happening here in the 6th inning. In fact, the last extra base hit by a lefty against Sabathia was a home run by A.J. Przinsky on July 2nd of last year.
This is where CC knows what the Yankee hitters have faced so far against Cole Hamels, and you know it going into a start when you're facing a front end guy that, generally speaking, you make assumptions that it's going to be a well-pitched game and you got to limit the runs. And right here you can see the way he's pitching to Worth, trying to keep that runner from not scoring. Pitching backwards, start off with 2 changeups, missed fastball. There you see behind the count breaking ball. Certainly don't want to go down anymore against the guy Cole Hamels right now, who seems to be locked in. The young Mayberry on deck.
And the 2-2. Foul back. Worth at 7 for his last 35. That's a 200 clip. Phillies lead the Yankees 3-1, top of the 6th inning. Sabathia against Cole Hamels. Ibanez takes off, and A-Rod knocks the throw down from Cervelli. So Ibanez heads up base running, heads to third. That'll force the Yankees to bring the infield in.
It was really good base running. Cervelli does a nice job keeping it in front, looks up, sees that Ibanez is taking off, and then a short hop throw. Nice play by Alex Rodriguez just to keep it in front. But you're taught as a base runner, when you see it hit the dirt, be aggressive, force the issue. A lot of base runners would be able to advance more on balls in the dirt if they were just anticipating a little bit more. Not an easy play for a catcher to block, recover, and make a strong throw.
Scored a wild pitch, so he makes up for his blunder on the Howard line drive. Infield is in. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for CC Sabathia. Ball diving down and in on Worth.
So important to have a pitcher that has the ability to strike out a batter when necessary. Gets ahead with a little slider, the 2-seamer away, off the plate. Do the changeup, then a high fastball, slider, and a 2-1 count. Fastball away. You see Worth just trying to punch it to right. Slider again down in the dirt. Finishes with a good power slider. So critical that you have arms like CC or AJ Burnett, Jabba, that can, when necessary, to get a strikeout, runner at third base, runner in scoring position, easy sac fly, could score a run. Good sequence.
The strikeout has not been a big weapon, only his third of the ball game, but like you said, Al, at a big spot, the ability to pick up a K.
There's John Mayberry Jr. John was a first baseman at Stanford, drafted as a first baseman, but has learned to play the outfield in the minor leagues. Tall, lean youngster. Dad was more bulky. He's 0 for 2 so far this afternoon. High pop-up. Jeter backpedals. Called off by Gardner, who makes the play for the final out of the 6th. But the Phillies tack on a run. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Proud dad right there. Senior and junior as we go to the bottom of the 6th. At the ballpark on the left side as Mark Teixeira leads off against Hamels. And the count 1-0. 3-1 Phils, 3-6-1, leading 1-6-0. Teixeira, Rodriguez, and Cano against the Philly lefty. Rip foul.
Start thinking for the Yankees, the heart of the order here. Mark Teixeira, Alex Rodriguez, Robinson Cano. The 3rd time they're going to face Hamels. Pitch count now up into the 90s. Hamels with some of those injuries early on really has just started to get his pitch count up to 110, 117.
High fly ball left field. Backing up is Worth. On the track, at the wall. See ya! On a broken bat. Mark Teixeira hits a solo home run, and it's 3-2 Phils. Now that is hard to believe. With that home run, there's been a home run every single game at the stadium this year.
Well, you won't see this often. Not only was it a broken bat, it's just shattered. You see he's holding a little handle there. And Worth, watching from here, Worth's reaction, he took about 3 or 4 steps in. The ball just carrying.
Hamels finds it hard to believe. Here's A-Rod.
I've never seen a bat shatter like that, and the ball ends up leaving the ballpark. And there are hitters that say, you know what, I hit that ball good, and the bat just shattered. I mean, that does happen. I've never seen it carry for a home run.
And the 0-1.
It happened to me.
Really?
Yes. What's this? Now, there's some maple wood. I think the maple wood, there's some issue with Major League Baseball, and they're testing the wood and how the grain is.
Look from that replay, though, that he hit it on the sweet part of the bat.
It happened against you.
It happened, yeah. It was, I was with the Mets, James Mouton. Remember him?
Yeah.
He was with the Brewers. Same thing. Bat shattered, barrel going to right field, and home run.
Blake Condry. One of the 5 right-handers in the bullpen warming up. 1 and 2 on A-Rod. Fouls off a change. For Teixeira's 13th home run of the year. He's 2 for 3 today. 34 runs batted in. He's been one of the hottest hitters in baseball.
I think he's saying I hit that good and the bat just shattered.
Alex Rodriguez swings and misses. And he struck out 3 times against Cole Hamels.
Alex has had a tough time with that changeup all day, and then he starts sitting on it. It's a fastball right by you, 89 miles an hour. But that changeup has been the pitch that Alex Rodriguez has had trouble, and then you start looking for it, and the fastball right by you.
So 1 away, that'll bring up Cano. Tries to pull an outside pitch and grounds it foul. Well, it's time for the answer to our Toyota text poll. You've been texting at 58772. The question, who's the best lefty starter in the majors? And Johan Santana wins in a landslide with Sabathia second, Hamels third. Cliff Lee trails the field. Popped up. Pedro Feliz for the second out. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your tri-state area Audi dealers. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. That's going to bring up Melky Cabrera, an infield single and a ground ball at third. Hamels has thrown just 7 first pitch strikes out of 23 batters, and this will be the 100th pitch of the day for the left-hander. And he doesn't throw a first pitch strike there.
And the reason why he's able to be in this ball game, that those numbers wouldn't reflect only giving up 2 runs, is that he has this changeup that he goes to at any time in the count.
Yeah, it's almost more effective in a hitter's count than it is when you're a pitcher's count. I mean, 2-0, 1-0, you throw a changeup, you don't get a lot of swings.
The first thing I thought of, Michael, when you said that was Jimmy Key. He played with the Yankees or played with the Blue Jays. He got behind deliberately with his fastball to get to his changeup or something off speed. It was amazing. I mean, almost every bat, ride a high fastball, miss, ride another high fastball, miss, and then changeup, changeup, changeup. You don't want to live that way, pitching every game, but he has that kind of changeup. Cole Hamels.
The 2-1. And the count 3-1 to Cabrera.
If you're Melky Cabrera, usually a situation you're just going to load up on a fastball and try to put a good swing on it. But as Al said, Hamels has thrown his changeup all day in counts like this.
Strike.
Another changeup. Now you're confused. I mean, Hamels could go with a fastball here, might be able to surprise Melky. If you're Melky, you got to respect the changeup, probably sit on it again and foul off the fastball if you get it.
Squibb the other way.
You said it. There it was right there. Stay back, 91. Good fastball, not great. Obviously way late. Has to honor and respect the fact that Hamels could and will throw a changeup with the curveball. Roger Clemens 0-2
yeah,
was a
like
fastball.
David Wells used to do the same thing too. Fastball inside. One would be a curveball, just switching it up. You know, a lot of different ways to keep hitters and runners at second base off of your pitches.
Nobody's on here.
But that's your same set of signals all the way through.
3-2. Punched out and over the head of Bruntman into right field. Second hit of the day for Melky Cabrera.
Interesting that Cole Hamels and Ruiz is choosing to go to multiple signs with nobody on base. Change up, balls up in the zone. Obviously, Melky's out in front enough, but because it's up in the zone, he's able to get enough of the barrel on the ball. Melky's 11th multi-hit game of the year. Now, that tells me one thing, that somewhere they think that somewhere somebody's able to either get a sign or something. I normally don't see that.
Matsui swings at a high fastball. He's been chasing upstairs against Cole Hamels.
Or you're just paranoid that somebody's going to pick up your signals. I mean, you mentioned Roger Clemens used to use multiple signs from the first pitch of the game.
I did it in certain stadiums, John, and I remember Doug Linton was a teammate of mine. He was pitching for Kansas City, got his brains beat in. Mike McFarland said no more signs. This was at Jacobs Field in Cleveland. They didn't have signs the rest of the way through 7 scoreless innings.
Popped up. Rollins is there, and Rollins makes the catch for the final out of the 6th. But the Yankees get a run on 2 hits, no errors and 1 left. A broken bat home run by Teixeira. Quite a homestand for the Yankee first baseman. Races out from 203 to 271. Inaugural season of Yankee Stadium on Wednesday, June 3rd, when the Yankees take on the Rangers. The first 18,000 fans in attendance will receive a Yankees passport holder, courtesy of Delta Airlines. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Pedro Feliz leads off, and he serves one to right field. Melky Cabrera right there. A lot of fly balls to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so far.
Well, this is one of those games where CC's got a good pitch count up to this point. 86 pitches, nice ball strike ratio, 31 to 55. Stay in it close. Talk about how the ball's flying. Late inning comeback wins by the Yanks.
Yeah, a lot of confidence in the Yankees in games like this if they can finish it off at the end of the ballgame.
Pitch to Brunt, it's a strike.
It's amazing when you do it day after day and have late inning comebacks. You believe you can do it. You don't stress out in the middle of the ball game about we have to get a lead. Very confident group.
Yankees have 17 comeback wins this year. And remember, last year, Brad Lidge unhittable. Didn't blow a save all season. This year, he has really struggled. Blew the game yesterday. And they'd have to bring him in again today. He is their closer. Bruntley with a ground ball at third and kicks foul.
Watching his ball game yesterday, Brad Lidge speaking, it looked like his stuff was the same. I mean, his fastball is 94. A good slider, the pitch that he's known for. It's got to be a control issue, making too many mistakes in the middle of the plate.
You mentioned 12 walks in 18 innings. He's had some knee trouble. And, you know, again, guys will you deal with whatever kind of aching pain you have. He says he's fine, but boy, how important it is for a pitcher or any athlete to have his legs.
The 0-2. I think he also suffered an ankle problem as well, so he had both of those things working against him.
And all it takes is just a little bit to be off mechanically.
Number tonight at 8, center stage with Paul Simon. Right here on yes, the 0-2. Driven out to left field. Johnny Damon flips down the glasses for the second out. So Sabathia, another strong performance, although this is his first really good day performance. He's 4-1 with a 1.59 and 5 starts at night. In the day, he's 0-2 with a 6.86 and 4 starts. And pitch to Ruiz is a strike. Well, they've announced the attendance here at the stadium, 46,986. Yankees continue to have the highest average attendance in Major League Baseball. The 0-1. Served out to right field, a base hit. Melky Cabrera will get the ball in quickly. So a 2-out single by Ruiz, which is what started the trouble in the 3rd inning.
It's good hitting there. Ball change up in the zone a little bit. Carlos Ruiz as your number 9-hole hitter. Not certainly the ball away. He's got his hip pulling off the baseball, but still able to get enough of the barrel of the bat on the ball. Out in front. This is good hitting. We had a day for Friday night against AJ, not today.
Well, Sabathia has gone at least 6 2/3 innings in 7 straight starts. He's at 6 2/3 right now, trying to get the final out of the 7th. Here's Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy is 1 for 3. Grounded foul outside of 3rd. Rollins grounded to short. And then a double past the diving Gardner to right center. Drove in a run in the 3rd. And then a pop up to 2nd. And Cervelli goes out and talks with Sabathia.
That's what you like about Cervelli. I mean, a lot of talk about the energy he brings behind the plate, but a rookie not afraid to go out and tell a veteran pitcher what he's seeing back there. That was a changeup that really was one of the worst pitches he's thrown all day, and Cervelli wants to make sure he doesn't throw another bad one. Went out there and told him so.
Count 0-2. The baseball's so strange. CC's changeup is about in the same area as Cole Hamels' fastball, but it's all about the separation between the changeup and the fastball. And the 0-2. And the count 1-2.
Fastball's 95, the changeup 85. Same spread as Cole Hamels. 10 miles an hour, pretty much the difference.
Well, that was a good take right there. You see a 0-2 pitch that's on the plate, up clearly a ball, but Jimmy Brown's taking it, almost looking for it.
Remember Dave LaPointe spent some time in the National League, 3 years here with the Yankees. He said, I knew it was time to go when the velocity on my changeup and fastball were meeting. Then it's not good. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning, and the Phillies lead 3-2.
They see we've got a good shot there of Ruiz peeking into Cervelli, looking for a Normally a runner, a base runner, stealer that would look in to see whether it's a breaking ball or not, but he's looking in as well. Ruiz is not a stolen base threat. See right there, he's looking right into the signs. Take a short lead, knowing he's not going to throw over.
John, with a guy on first base, can't you kind of shield the signs with your right leg? Almost pointed toward third?
Yeah, you're taught to point your right leg towards second base, which is going to block out Davey Lopes, the first base coach, and Ruiz, the runner at first base. So you're trying to block him out, but also, Cervelli's paying attention to see if Ruiz is peeking. He might go to multiple signs to make sure he doesn't get it.
The only way lefty can throw over is if he steps off. If he doesn't show that, he's got to lift his leg to throw over. So what happens is he'll tell the first base coach, Davey Lopes, I'm looking in. If he's coming over, let me know as far as the step off. If he doesn't show it, he can look in.
Runner goes, 2-2. Popped up. Teixeira in foul territory, makes the play, and that'll do it. In the 7 strong innings for CC Sabathia. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left at the end of 6.5 innings of play. It's time for the 7th inning stretch, but we'll stay right here with the Phillies leading 3-2 as we honor America on Memorial Day weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Now please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans. White with foam, God bless America, my home, sweet home.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join in as Yankee Stadium organist Ed Alstrom plays Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Yankee Stadium, it's 3-2 Phillies. Cole Hamels goes 6, and now Charlie Manuel makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. Your World Delivered. And it's going to be Clay Condrey. Check that. They've switched. It's now Chad Durbin. Condrey was warming up. So Chad Durbin is in there. You see his numbers. It'll be 8, 9, and 1 in the Yankee order against the right-hander Durbin. That's Cervelli, Gardner, and Jeter. 3, 7, and 1, leading 2, 8, 0. So the Yankees got their hits. They just didn't get the big blows against Hamels. Hamels was sharp, but he's had some problems with the elbow in spring training. They don't want to push him that high pitch count-wise. So Manuel now will try to massage these last 3 innings with the bullpen. Contry deals. Check that again. Durbin deals it to strike.
Yeah, you have the combination of Durbin here in the 7th, probably Madsen in the 8th, and Brad Lidge would be the closer. I mean, if you're Charlie Manuel, that would be the perfect formula. Take your chances.
Popped up. Bruntlet. 1 away. Hey, today after the postgame on Yes, don't miss an all-new WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show, as Joe recaps the homestand in the Bronx, then gets a behind-the-scenes tour of the new Yankee Stadium on an all-new episode of Yankees on Deck. It's all coming up today after the postgame only on Yes. Been a great homestand for the Yankees. They've won 8 of 9. Here's Brett Gardner. And a strike. Yankees have not gone 9 and 1 or better on a homestand of at least 9 games since August of 1998, when they were 10 and 1 on an 11-game homestand. You see the lefty Scott Air warming. Durbin yesterday pitched, then he went 1 inning, did not allow a hit, struck out 1 through just 12 pitches, but he has given up runs in 3 of his last 5 appearances. They want to get to the 8th inning because Madsen's lights out, and then they'll hold their breath with Lidge in the 9th.
And as bad as their rotation has been ERA-wise, their bullpen has been strong. 4th in the National League. You mentioned Charlie Manuel, a nice mix and match. You see Scott Air warming up. Got some plus arms. Lidge not as dominant as he was last year. Durbin really has helped Charlie Manuel to have faith in him facing left-handers. Last year, lefties were batting over 300, 311. This year, he's got him at a 189 clip. He's got a good changeup for that.
Took a fastball, a little bit high, 1 and 2. Phillies want to keep Gardner off the bases.
He also has a nice little cutter that he threw Gardner early in the count. I mean, that's going to be a nice weapon against the lefties. A little cutter, a little changeup. You see, Brett almost got away there with that fastball. It was a close pitch.
Count 2 and 2.
Yeah, I think that pitch before kind of surprised home plate umpire Mike Estabrook. Looked like a good pitch there.
And Gardner's worked the count full.
Well, you mentioned it, Michael. This is a situation here. Brett Gardner, you could pretty much book it. He's going to run at some point. You got to, whatever his strike pitch is, you throw. Be patient right here, Brett Gardner. Make sure it's in the zone.
3-2. And he serves it into left field. It's a base hit for Gardner. So a 1-out single for Gardner. Now the Yankees could do some things with Jeter at the plate, hit and run, or just have Gardner straight steal.
Well, he did get the pitch over the plate, Al. It was on the corner, and it's just an outstanding piece of hitting. You back it up, you slap it the other way. It really wasn't slapped. This was a nice line drive driven the other way in front of Jason Worth. But now the whole game changes for Durbin and the catcher Ruiz. You're thinking about Brett Gardner at first base. You want to make sure you keep him close. Probably going to mean Derek Jeter's going to get a good pitch to hit some point during this at bat.
Jeter 2 for 3. Single to left in the first, single to right in the 5th, and that sandwiches a strikeout.
Well, there's a couple ways of going here. Chad Durbin, knowing the situation with the great speed of Brett Gardner, does Derek give him an opportunity to get a pitch or two to run? If he gets one first pitch here, let it fly. I think this is a first pitch go as you see it for Brett Gardner. Don't allow Chad Durbin to get ahead of Derek.
Yeah, I think if you're Derek in this situation, they've thrown over twice, and you're like, oh, good, worry about Brett Gardner. You come into me, and I'm 3 times in a row now. It's a great situation to hit in, knowing that the pitcher is thinking about the runner, not as much as about you.
Yeah, I think the Phillies are thinking here that Gardner is going to go on first pitch. They're giving a pitch out.
Gets a strike on the inside corner. Gardner's tried to steal 7 times, and he's been successful 6.
Durbin had Gardner on his heels there, throw over 3 times, and then a quick pitch to home plate. Couldn't get a good jump.
Charlie Manuel giving the signs to Carlos Ruiz. Snap throw to first. Almost had it. Gardner just got that.
Or you see Ruiz behind the plate. He's had a great series offensively. Aggressive behind the plate with the throw, trying to get Brett Gardner off of first base. A bang-bang play. Randy Marsh, first base umpire, makes the call. Quick release, strong throw.
There it goes. Got it. What a throw by Ruiz. A bullet in the second, the tag applied by Bruntley.
Well, Ruiz has had a couple of outstanding games. Brett Gardner did not get a great jump, but this is a perfect throw, bang-bang play. You got to give Durbin credit holding him close, a good quick release. More importantly, the accuracy right on the bag. But the Phillies could not have done it any better, that whole situation with Brett Gardner.
So now 1-2 count on Jeter. Take another look how close. Tag in the face, adding insult to injury. Count 3-2.
Good quick release, a perfect pitch to throw on. See the emotion behind the plate, fired up. You take that as a challenge. The guy gets on first, you know he's going to run. He was ready for it.
Good quick tag. Everything was done, executed. The pitcher, Chad Durbin, had a quick time to home plate.
3-2. See, he got him right around the elbow before the left hand hit first base. Check that second base. And the 3-2. Punched out toward Howard. He's going to flip to Durbin, who beats Jeter to the bag for the final out of the 7th inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. A good throw by Ruiz. A tag in the face on Gardner. And Gardner's out. Ruiz is pumped. Then we go to the 8th inning. 3-2 Phils. saying throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the three of us here in the booth for the Chevy player of the game. Text your vote to 58772. Today's candidates are number 1, Cole Hamels, number 2, CC Sabathia, number 3, Jimmy Rollins, number 4, Mark Teixeira. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Sabathia is still in there. This will be his 100th pitch. That'll deal the 2, 3, and 4 in the order for the Phils. And Victorino gets a base hit to right field. Victorino now 3 for 4 against Sabathia.
Last 2 at bats, he got some fastballs out over the plate, drilled him to right center. The big RBI, a 2-out RBI in the 3rd inning. Last 2 at bats, first pitch fastballs out over the plate, and he drills him to right field.
Scrappy Victorino, shown, as you just said, being able to hit the fastball. Guy was a Rule 5 draft pick in the winter twice. Picked up from by San Diego from the Dodgers, and then the Phillies did the same.
Here's a dangerous Raul Ibanez. Breaking ball made him move away and takes a strike.
CC Sabathia, thinking back at this ballgame, the one big mistake he made was to Ibanez on a 1-2 count.
Gardner on the run will make the play in left center. Got a good jump. 1 away as Victorino scampers back to first.
Ibanez likes to hit the ball the other way. Brett Gardner covers a lot of ground. The ball slicing from right to left. Brett Gardner with plenty of speed, able to catch up to it. Really, the one bad big-time mistake pitch in the 6th inning was to Ibanez with that double and drove in Victorino.
You know, and you're right, because when you who knows how this is going to play out. He's got 102 pitches down, but you'll go to certain key moments and say, you know, that wasn't executed. And you're exactly right. That pitch had in the count. He wanted to elevate in the zone, just didn't get to a spot.
Grounded foul.
And especially it becomes much more important when you're facing a good pitcher.
Yeah.
Because you know the mistakes are limited on both sides. That's what makes them good pitchers. Aside from premium stuff, they execute a game plan. And the better pitchers do it more often than not. Easier said than done, but those are your premium players.
The 0-1. Check swing, that's going to be a base hit. Excuse me, single for Ryan Howard. Boy, is that going to chap a pitcher.
Yeah, he's smiling. He knows. You know, that's what makes this game so great. You execute, you make your pitch, and then, oops, excuse me. Feel good about it. Obviously, it counts as a hit as though it was a line drive. They say it all evens out. I'm not sure. Coming from a pitcher's perspective, I think you see not those particular hits, but pitches that are thrown in areas in which the hitters just don't square up. It's part of it.
Here's Jason Worth, 0 for 3 against Sabathia. Popped up. Melky Cabrera makes the play. 2 away.
CC has really done a nice job against Jason Worth. A couple of pop-ups, a couple of strikeouts. Pitch count now at 105.
Sabathia has thrown at least 105 pitches in 5 straight starts. And he's trying to complete 8 innings for the 3rd time in his last 4 starts as Veras continues to throw. Here's John Mayberry Jr. 0 for 3. He's tried out each outfielder.
Really had a tough time with the changeup. It looks like he's been out in front on the changeup every at bat.
Runner goes from second. Both runners go. The throw to second. A double steal. So they catch Sabathia sleeping as Howard's able to swipe him back. And so is Victorino.
Well, that you said it, Mike, and that really comes out of this. You see Sabathia, and we want the runners now at second and third. Obviously, a base hit will be 2 runs as opposed to 1 run. But you want to feel comfortable. Clearly there with him with his big leg kick, not giving multiple looks. He's just thinking about getting a hitter out. Hitter out, you're out of the inning.
Ties him up, could not hold up. Count 1-1.
CC had done a nice job with Mayberry Jr. early in this ballgame, throwing some fastballs in. He has to respect the velocity on it. He's looked bad on off-speed pitches ever since. Slider down and in, some good changeups away. He's been out in front.
Well, based on that swing, I would say, let me see if he can make an adjustment, because that he was seriously fooled. Go to the well. If the guy looks like he can't hit it, keep going.
There's a strike. Now Howard's steal of second, his second stolen base of the year. That's a career high for him. But Sabathia's not worried about that. He needs to get Mayberry. The crowd of almost 47,000 getting loud, looking for strike 3. Many of them standing. And the pitch. Nice block by Cervelli.
Runners on second and third. You have to keep the ball in front, and this is just textbook here. Right off your chest protector, bounces in front. Nice play by Cervelli.
Big moment in this game. We're in the 8th inning. Phillies holding on to a 1-run lead. Yankees trying to keep it right there. The rookie called up yesterday, John Mayberry Jr. His dad in the stands. Sabathia deals the 2-2. He struck him out. And a fist pump to punctuate the big moment in the game. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 big men left on base. Sabathia comes low and in, and Mayberry swings over the top as the left-hander gets out of the jam. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Phillies lead the Yankees 3-2 here on Yes. the WB Mason postgame. Emmy Award-winning Bob Lorenz and David Cohn are in the studio to recap everything from this finale against the Phillies, including highlights from around the major leagues. Plus, Kimberly Jones talks to the players in the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame after the final out, only on Yes. So Charlie Manuel doing some mixing and matching as he brings in the left-hander Scott Air to face Johnny Damon. So his job is to get Damon, and then they would probably bring in Madsen. Damon is 2 for 5 lifetime against Air. And a strike. That's what Air's done so far this year. 17 games, 10 innings, so you can see he's a specialty guy. He's coming in to get in lefties, or get out lefties. 3.60. 8 walks, though, that's not great, with 7 strikeouts. Serve down the left field line, giving chase is Worth in the corner. He runs out of room.
I know it's early in the year, but his right-hand, left-handed batting average against lefties are 208, righties 100, and of the 208, 2 home runs he's given up to left-handed batters.
Well, I'm sure the Yankees would like to have Damon take aim at Damon's deck in right field. A lot of his home runs have been deposited in that second deck in right.
We talked earlier about catchers calling a ball game in certain situations in certain ballparks. This would be a situation you stay away, play to the big park.
That's what they're doing right there, John. 1 and 2.
Hate to try to get cute and try to stand Johnny Damon up with a fastball inside. You make a mistake, it ends up in the seats, and now you have a tied ball game. Pitcher catcher probably on the same page, thinking big part of the ballpark, pitch away and play away.
Line to center field. Victorino there. So Damon hit it hard, but right at Victorino. And that's going to do it for Scott Air. Charlie Manuel makes the walk out to the pitcher's mound, and he'll take the ball from the left-hander and go to Ryan Madsen. And there he does signal for Madsen, so they bring in Madsen to face Teixeira, turn him around to the left side, which you can argue with because you want him playing to the bigger part of the park, and then Alex Rodriguez. So Madsen comes on to try to protect this 1-run lead. Stay here. The Land Rover drive of the game.
Well, Mark Teixeira led off the bottom of the 6th inning, and this is your Land Rover drive of the game. Shatters his bat and drills it out to left field. Ball carrying well for his 13th home run of the year. Cole Hamels can't believe it. That was your Land Rover drive of the game.
That was with Teixeira batting right-handed. Now he's going to turn around to the left side against Ryan Madsen. That's what Matson's done so far this year. 20 and 2/3 innings, 18 hits, 6 walks, 23 strikeouts. He's one of the best setup men in baseball. 3.05 ERA.
Great changeup plus fastball. This is like one of those gut feeling moves that Charlie Manuel has. Matson batting average against worse against lefties than righties.
Mariano getting ready. In case the Yankees tie this game. There's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball strike.
You wonder if Charlie Manuel, the manager, is thinking, you know what, Teixeira's hit right-handed the whole game. He's had a pretty good game, 2 for 3, hit a home run. Maybe I'll switch him around the other side.
Hit sharply and right into the teeth of the shift. And Brucklet guns him down for the second out.
Mark Teixeira disappointed, but he's locked in right now. It doesn't matter which side of the plate. Hitting the ball hard, just hit it right into the shift. Making solid contact at bat after at bat.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. He had a rough day so far against Hamels, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He had the game-tying home run in yesterday's game, trying to do the same thing here. Matson deals. Way inside.
Alex Rodriguez, probably the happiest guy at this stadium to see Cole Hamels leave after 6 innings. Really had a tough time with the changeup. 7th inning or later, the number's impressive. 308 with 3 home runs.
Yankees have 4 wins this year when trailing after 7 innings. They had 4 of those type of wins all of last year. So trying to go for number 5. Strike. First 2 games of the series, Yankees have seen Matson each game. He went 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts, and he threw 34 pitches. And the 1-1. Hit sharply to third. They were playing close to the line. Feliz Fields. So Matson comes on and gets 2 hard ground balls from Teixeira and Rodriguez as the Yankees go down in order. 1, 2, 3. Well, the Yankees are going to win today. It's going to be another walk-off. Yankees at Yankees.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the Yankees.com shop. Well, CC Sabathia gave the Yankees 8 strong innings. He will not be involved in any winning decision. He could get the loss as the Yankees go to Jose Veras here in the 9th inning to take over for Sabathia, and he'll face the bottom of the order, Feliz, Bruntlett, and Ruiz. Might see a pinch hitter thrown in there. Chase Utley lurking on the bench. Veras' last 6 appearances have been scoreless, but he's thrown a total of 3 1/3 innings in those appearances. First pitch is swung on and lofted to center field. Gardner has trouble with the sun, and he puts it away for the first out.
Jose Veras, when he's going to be successful, he throws a lot of strikes. See Brett Gardner shielding the sun, also wearing the sunglasses. Makes the play, but Veras, if he throws a lot of strikes, he's going to be successful. His first pitch fastball challenging for these though.
And Chase Utley is going to pinch hit for Eric Bruntlett. They gave Utley the day off against the left-hander Sabathia, and now he'll pinch hit for Bruntlett, who was 0 for 3. Utley pops one up right side. Teixeira runs out of room. The line on Sabathia is complete. 8 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, 4 strikeouts. He did not walk a batter. And he threw 110 pitches. And 75 of them were for strikes. The 0-1. 1-1.
You mentioned, John, about the throwing strikes, and if it's ever more important for any pitcher, of course, it's imperative that you try to get ahead as a reliever. For so far, 12 walks in 18 innings for Veras, that's not good. He knows that. He's got really good stuff. It's a matter of consistent delivery, consistent release point, get ahead.
A lot of everyday players don't like to pinch hit. It's a completely different animal coming off the bench, but Utley has actually done a good job of it. 13 for 42, that's 310, and he actually has 4 pinch hit home runs and 13 hits.
He's got such a simple swing. I mean, one of the shortest swings in baseball, real direct with his hands. But you're right, you come out of that routine where you take your batting practice, you get your 4 at-bats a ball game. Not easy to be sitting around all day. I'm sure he went underneath it. Had some swings off a tee maybe in the tunnel. A different mindset.
Well, he's their best hitter overall. He really, very seldom you see him get fooled. You mentioned those numbers, Michael. It doesn't surprise me. He's a guy that obviously possesses tremendous power, not biggest stature, simple swing, as you say, John. And there's really, there's certain guys we just said there's not a weakness in an area. He pretty much hits the ball where the ball is thrown.
Strike 3, got him on a breaking ball. Good pitch by Veras. Time to take a look now at the play of the game, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance.
Well, this was a great play all the way around for the Phillies. Perfect execution. Ruiz blocking Johnny Damon earlier in the game. Aggressive running, and also Johnny trying to get the ball there. Ruiz having the ball in his glove. Geico play of the game.
And here is Carlos Ruiz against Jose Veras. Now, if you're looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, why wouldn't you? It's normal. You got Robinson Cano, Melky Cabrera, and Hideki Matsui duo. And they'll be hitting against Brad Lidge. The 1-0. 2-0. Ruiz has been pesky this whole series. Today, 2 for 3. Nice play at the plate. Threw out Brett Gardner, trying to steal second base. He's really been impressive. Hitting 290. 2-0. 3-0. It's not a guy that you want to really lose, because then you got to deal with the dangerous Jimmy Rollins.
And this has been Veras' problem with when he is off and give up runs. I mentioned 18 innings, 12 walks. Number 9 hole hitter, go after him.
And now 13 walks.
That's the frustrating part of Joe Girardi and Dave Island, is that he possesses really good stuff, great stuff, and it's just a command issue. His delivery's a little floppy. He's a lot of arms and legs.
Now you talked about it. We've seen Ruiz, a guy who's not afraid to try to steal a base in a situation. With Jimmy Rollins up there, he might not want to do that, keep that hole open between first and second. But Jose Veras doesn't pay attention. He can find himself in scoring position.
Rollins fouls it back.
Veras is a guy that doesn't compromise his leg kick. He's got a big leg kick that's probably in the 1.4, 1.5 range.
That walk to Ruiz, the first walk issued in this game. Where in this day and age? Count 1-1. Is there any way, John, that with a max effort guy like this, that you could make things a little more simple and still have him throw hard?
Well, just looking at, he's a big guy, obviously, a lot of arms and legs. I mean, it's going to be tough, but some of the times we've seen him wild, he's not wild all over the place. He's just missing.
Runner was going. The run was on. Rollins trying to serve that through the left side of the infield.
Michael, I think it's more frustrating with a guy like Veras when he's just picking and not being aggressive. Really takes that foul ball right off his mask. Good throwing position.
And that's the pitch you throw, Michael. I do believe that you could slow a guy down. And if you see a pitcher overthrowing, usually they're up in the zone or they're spraying the ball in and out, obviously not in the strike zone. To be able to get him, pull the reins in, call if you break the ball. Call it perfect. Locked up Utley on breaking it. Because you have to slow your temps a little bit to get your hand up in position for your curveball.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Got it. Off-speed pitch. Rollins way out in front. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? We'll see. Heavy player of the game is voted on by you, the fans, and the three of us here in the booth. Who is it, Al?
It is Cole Hamels. He was on very tough on the Yankee hitters early on, especially with his off-speed pitch. Alex Rodriguez struck out 3 times against him. Good changeup. There's a Monday. Derek Jeter, another good changeup. Then he had the fastball. He was able to lock up guys in and out all day long. 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 Ks. Cole Hamels, the Chevy player of the game.
3-2, the Phillies lead. Yankees have Cano, Cabrera, and Matsui coming up. And they'll hit against Brad Lidge. Now, Lidge yesterday blew the game. Look at his ERA. He's converted 8 saves, but the difference this year is that he's converted 8 and he's blown 3. Now, why is that different? Last year, including the postseason, he was 47 consecutive saves. And he blew his first save as a Philly in 51 opportunities on April 18th. He's allowed runs in 9 of his 20 appearances, including 7 of his last 10. So this is not the same Brad Lidge as last year. The guys talked earlier. It looks like he's throwing just as hard, but the location is not there. Can the Yankees rally against Lidge?
Talking to Larry Anderson, who does the radio for the Phillies, who does every one of their games. He also has trouble with command. He's got 12 walks coming into this appearance, 18 2/3. He was talking about how you sprain his fastball, getting to his slider. Not comfortable with getting ahead with his fastball. And it sounds kind of basic, but that's been kind of putting him in bad counts.
Robinson Cano leads off. And Lidge deals. Ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Caught on the outfield grass there by Utley, but he had no play. So Cano, the tying run, is on base.
Robinson Cano had a big base hit yesterday, scoring the winning run off of Brad Lidge. He gets a first pitch fastball, and it looked like the same approach. Yesterday he hit the slider. Today he hits the fastball, but the approach the same, right back up the middle.
Well, Melky Cabrera has been the king of the walk-off. He has 3 walk-offs this year. First Yankee player to have 3 walk-offs in one season since 1988. Claudell Washington did it then. The crowd with the Melky chant. Time is called, and something is awry on the third base side. I don't know if he didn't see the sign from Rob Thompson, or now he's coming out of the game. So they're going to send Ramiro Pena in to pinch run. Didn't look like he hurt himself. I guess they just want more speed on the bases. Now, would you play to tie the game? Would you bunt Melky here?
Not the way Melky's swinging the bat. I would let him swing away. See Pena, the pinch runner. You have Hideki Matsui coming up behind him, who has not been swinging the bat well. Cervelli after that. Nick Swisher going to be probably swinging a bat at some point, you would think.
Yeah, I agree with you. The way Cabrera's hitting, let him swing.
Well, the Phillies expecting bunt. Felice is in on the grass at third. And he does show bunt, and he takes a strike.
Rob Thompson, the third base coach, giving the signs. Melky locked in on the signs. A few times I've seen Melky try to bunt. I wouldn't say he's a great bunter.
Runner goes. Pitch is high. No throw. Pena steals second. The tying run in scoring position.
Well, I wouldn't say Pena's a burner, but I'll tell you what, he got a great jump, looks in. Ruiz had trouble with the exchange. Now he's in scoring position with no outs. Melky Cabrera, you have to try to pull a ball here. Worst case scenario, you get Pena to third.
Now Ruiz goes out and talks with Lidge, and this is what happened yesterday to end the game. Melky Cabrera with a single right center, scoring Robinson Cano. Now the Yankees obviously picked something up on Lidge. That's their third steal off Lidge in the last 2 days.
David led off the inning yesterday with a walk and stole second base. Cano also stole yesterday.
And he punches at the bunt. That I don't quite get. If he pulls the ball, it has a chance to get through. But he's trying to bunt him over to third.
Well, you got to sacrifice. Sacrifice giving yourself up. And there you see he's not totally committed to it. You got to turn. Rotate your body out. Get the barrel of the bat in front of home plate. Kind of a lost start.
Tell you what, though, he's been one of the hottest hitters. We talked about the walk-off hits. I'd want him swinging the bat more than trying to execute a sacrifice bunt.
Well, now you've taken 2 strikes out of his arsenal. And he hasn't had trouble this year hitting with 2 strikes. Count 1 and 2. Pena leads off second. And the 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Now, Al, inside the mind of a pitcher, Brad Lidge knows he struggled this year. Is he taking those struggles to this at bat right now?
Well, he better not be, or he's not going to make good pitches. But that usually is the reason why you continue to have a bad streak, or you're in a losing streak, or in the case of the pitcher, a little bit of a slump. He's got to know his pitch here, whatever it takes for him to strike a batter out or keep the ball in the infield.
Pena leads off second with the tying run, the 2-2. Ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Here comes Pena. He will score. It's an RBI. Game-tying single for Melky Cabrera. More ninth inning magic as he delivers, and the game is tied at 3. And another blown save for Lidge.
Melky does it again. Tries to sacrifice bunt. It doesn't work out and just slaps one right back up the middle. You can see the reaction from Brad Lidge. Ball not hit real well, but perfect position just out of the reach of Rollins. And Pena, the pinch runner, is going to score easily without a play. Melky Cabrera comes through yet again.
And here's Hideki Matsui. Will Cabrera steal? Lidge is thinking so and throws over. Six walk-off wins for the Yankees this year, 4 on this homestand. And there's a strike.
Hideki Matsui's been struggling lately, 0 for 3 today. His reputation of being a clutch performer is Nick Swisher on deck to pinch hit for Cervelli.
Charlie Manuel not only thinking about this game, but thinking, gee, this is going to be a rough season if we don't straighten Brad Lidge out. The 0-1. There's a strike. Now, Melky's single is 20th RBI. But of more significance, 11 of his 20 RBIs have come in the 7th inning or later. We talked about him in the open, and sometimes a guy just gets a feel and a confidence, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Chen-Ming Wang throwing in the bullpen. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. So Matsui down on strikes.
Matsui got 2 sliders in a row. That second one, it was very hittable. Now he got the defensive count, the 0-2. Couldn't hold up on a good slider from Lidge. That second pitch, he wished he could take back and just spun up a little slider.
And here's Nick Swisher. And Swisher did not play today for a very simple reason. He's been struggling. big time on this homestand. 4 hits and 29 at bats. He's 4 for his last 39, even going past the homestand. But on this homestand, he did hit his first Yankee Stadium home run. Yankees don't need that. As he pinch hits here for Cervelli, on deck is Gardner.
Well, you're right, Michael. The Yankees do not need the home run, but it's so tough when you go up in this situation. A pinch hitter, and you're thinking about doing something dramatic. You really have to simplify your at-bat, not try to do too much. Try to get a base hit, see if you can get Melky into scoring position.
Count 1-0. Swisher this year 1 for 2 with a walk while pinch hitting. Runner goes. Swung on and missed, and no throw. Another stolen base against Lynch. He's really not giving Ruiz much of a chance.
Which is really what he's doing right here. He takes a look, a good jump by Melky. The Yankees definitely have something on Brad Lynch and his timing or lack of throwing over looks, whatever is determined, usually comes from the first base coach McKellar.
Well, now a single will win the game. The game is tied at 3. Outfielders shorten up a bit to try to cut off the run. Good arms all around in the outfield for the Phils. There's a ground ball towards second. Utley to Howard for the second out. Moving to third is Melky Cabrera. And that's going to bring up Brett Gardner. There are a lot of things that Gardner can do here. Obviously, he's worked with a good eye. He works the count, but he'd like to get the run in. He could bunt, and that would end the game. He could slap at the ball. Obviously, a wild pitch now would score Melky Cabrera, so there's a lot of ways the Yankees could win this.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on Carlos Ruiz, the catcher for the Phillies. Lidge loves to throw that slider. He throws a lot of them in the dirt. Ruiz can have to be on top of his game behind the plate.
Well, these two guys competed for the center field job. Gardner won it. Melky's taking it away. Melky 90 feet away from scoring the winning run. And Gardner fouls it off. And it shows you the chemistry that they have on this team. And Melky's walk-offs this year, Gardner's the first guy out there to celebrate with him. Now, Gardner's had 2 career walk-off hits. One of them that I remember is the one against Jonathan Papelbon here at Yankee Stadium. Trying to squeak the ground ball through the infield. Ryan Howard is deep at first.
Pressure on the infield of the Phillies, too, with the way Gardner runs.
And the 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Now, the Yankees don't need a lengthy extra inning game either, because they've got a really short bullpen. Bruni's still not available. They'd rather not use Wong. They'd rather not use Aceves. They've already used Veras. Mariano would pitch the 10th. But they're trying to avoid the 10th as the count moves at 2-1. Mariano right now just a spectator, but he's ready. Gardner today is 1 for 3. And the 2-1. Grounded toward first. Howard's there, and he'll step on the bag. And we will go to extra innings here at the stadium. So Lidge blows his 4th save of the year. The big hit, an RBI single by Melky Cabrera. We've got free baseball here at Yankee Stadium as we head to the 10th. Don't miss an all-new WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper recaps the homestand in the Bronx. Then, get a behind-the-scenes tour of the new Yankee Stadium on an all-new episode of Yankees on Deck. It's all coming up today after the postgame, only on Yes. Well, we go to the 10th inning here at the stadium. The Yankees have come back and tied it in the 9th against Brad Lidge. And now they bring on their closer, Mariano Rivera. I always explain this, but it bears repeating. If you're at home and you're tied after 8 innings, there is no save situation after that. You score a run, you take a lead, you win. So that's why Rivera comes on in the tie game. 18 games, 0-1, 2.89. He's recorded 9 saves, 19 hits in just under 19 innings, 1 walk, and 23 strikeouts. New catcher for the Yankees is Kevin Cash. Cervelli was pinch hit from Nick Swisher. So Cash takes over behind the plate. New second baseman is Ramiro Pena, who pinch ran for Cano. And that worked out because Pena promptly stole second, and he scored from second on Melky Cabrera's single. Part of the order for the Phillies, Victorino, Ibanez, and Howard, 2, 3, and 4 against Rivera. There's a strike. Victorino's had a good day, 3 for 4. In his last 6 appearances, Mariano's pitched 7 1/3 innings, 4 hits, a run, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. Just this.
Where? Outside corner.
Kevin Cash sitting up off the plate. Plate umpire Mike Estabrook did not bring him up.
There's a ground ball up the middle. Jeter is there. And he gets the speedy Victorino really flying down the line for the first out.
Go outside again. Victorino just slaps it, hustling down the line. His good speed. Derek Jeter gets him by a step.
That'll bring up the dangerous Raul Ibanez, but not dangerous against Rivera. 1 for 15. Count 2-0.
Mariano at 90 miles an hour. It looks like the ball's not cutting quite as much as we've seen recently.
Watching how he pitched to Victorino, and then of course the short court shared right, 17 home runs Ibanez. He's been staying away. You can see here he's coming inside.
Rip foul.
But generally speaking, closers have always been historically known to pitch away. It's a bigger part of the ballpark. Yeah, if he's going to hit a home run to go the opposite way. Mariano being different with that cut fastball. Made a living coming inside.
Comes inside right there until you moment.
That was the best pitch he's thrown today. A little better velocity, a little more cut on it in off the plate. We talked about the numbers for Ibanez against Mariano, but he's off to a great start this year.
And there's a base hit for Ibanez. Only his second hit ever against Rivera.
Boy, he's locked in. The pitch away, a little cutter, ends up being a little bit more of the plate. You see Cash coming back over the plate. Mariano recognize him, making sure you make him put it in play, don't walk him.
Mariano can get by without his best stuff, but it looks to me coming out of the pen today, his stuff is just a little bit short. One of those days where you just don't have that good pop or that good cut. He's going to have to earn these outs here in the 10th.
Here's Ryan Howard, 2 for 4. That one's fouled away.
Coming right inside. The scout report on Howard is the Boston body line inside. Coming again here.
Count 1-1. We're in the 10th inning. Yankees came back again in the bottom of the ninth, scored a run, tied the game at 3. The rubber game of this interleague matchup. Phillies won Friday, Yankees won yesterday. Another check swing and a foul, a slow grounder in front of the plate as Howard's out. Moving to second is Ibanez.
It's that cutter. Howard hadn't seen Mariano in on the hands. You see both check swings. That one actually got into play. The tremendous movement Mariano possesses, even though his velocity isn't what it used to be. Late movement. Commit. Can't pull the trigger.
Now here's Jason Worth. Jason's 0 for 4 today with 2 strikeouts. And the pitch high. 1-0. And the pitch. Missed outside, 2-0. Opponents 2 for 12 against Mariano with runners in scoring position this year. Ibanez the go-ahead run at second. The 2-0. Foul away down the right field line. Along with Al Leiter and John Flaherty, I'm Michael Kay, and you're watching Yankees baseball right here on Yes. We thank you for spending the Sunday of the Memorial Day weekend with us. And we've got a dandy here at the stadium. It's a 3-3 game, top of the 10th. 2-1. Late again, fouls it away, 2-2.
Mariano stepping it up a little bit here with Ibanez in scoring position. Velocity's gotten a little bit better.
Big lead for Ibanez at second. The 2-2. Just got a piece to stay alive. Cash wants to talk with Rivera. What could this conversation be about, Johnny? He has that one pitch he's going to throw.
No, it's all about location. I mean, they ran a 2-seamer in on Wirt's hands. Do they want to go back to that again? You can go to a cutter at his hip to bring back to the inside corner, or do you want to go away?
And the 2-2. Spoiled that one.
Yeah, that's the occasional pitch. You mentioned, Michael. He'll throw the little 2-seamer as he did before that pitch, just to open up the outside. After Jason Worth there isn't a history there. This is his first at bat against Mariano. Knows and heard about and seen his cutter. He gets a little 2-seamer in.
2-2. Strike 3. Worth down looking. He was looking away. Mariano busted him inside. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. A beautiful pitch, just whispering across the inside corner. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Homestand of walk-offs for the Yankees. Melky Cabrera started off against the Twins, dunking that one in and setting up a celebration. And Alex Rodriguez also against the Twins. A walk-off home run. Another home plate mob. Johnny Damon against the Twins. Goes yard. Another walk-off. Another helmet toss. And another celebration around home plate. And then yesterday against the Phillies, Melky Cabrera dunks one into right center field, scoring his buddy Robinson Cano. And the familiar celebration in the Bronx as the walk-offs have become a habit. 5 walk-off wins in May, the most in 1 month since September of 1988, when they also had 5. And May still has a lot of days left in it. And if the Yankees are going to win today, it's going to come on a walk-off. New pitcher for the Phillies is Clay Condre. And you see what he's done. And he'll face the top of the order for the Yankees, Jeter, Damon, and Teixeira. And the right-hander deals. Trying to bust Jeter inside, 1-0. Driven the other way.
Condre's another one of the guys out of the Philly bullpen that's done a very nice job early going here. Guy is going to attack these hitters. A little running fastball in on the right hand, a little cutter. Those are a lot of strikes.
Count 1-2.
It's like he throws across his body a little bit. It's going to give him a little movement in on the right-handers. Barrett shaking his head, a little two-seamer in on his hands. He was fouled off. Back to what Al was talking about earlier. A little bit of deception helps out.
In his career in extra innings, Jeter a .322 hitter. So he likes free baseball. The 1-2. 2-2. Crowd of almost 47,000 here this Sunday at the stadium. They've seen another good game between the Phillies and the Yankees. And the 2-2 line drive. The winning runs on base. So Derek Jeter starts out the inning with his 3rd hit of the day.
Just a good hitter. The ball's inside. His patented swing is to go to right center. Sees, identifies that ball is running too far inside. He pulls his elbow in and is able to pull that ball, unlike his normal Jeter-esque swing of going to right center field. You mentioned those numbers, Michael, him like a free baseball. All the guys on the Yankee team, he just figures out a way to get on base. Just hand pull in, his back elbow comes inside and drives that ball to left field. That's good hitting.
Well, let's see if Johnny Damon bunts now. You have Teixeira on deck and then Alex after him, or if they give Jeter a chance to steal. Under Joe Girardi, the Yankees are 10-5 in extra inning games. Damon not bunting, takes a pitch outside, 1-0 on the way. Johnny's been swinging the bat. Why would you do that? Damon today is 1 for 4. RBI double in the 3rd.
You also have that hole between first and second that's wide open with Derek Jeter taking his lead off of first. With Johnny Damon, he can hook one in this hole here.
And the 1-0. Trying to keep it away. And that's what we're seeing a lot with these left-handed hitters. The pitchers are staying away. They do not want to flirt with that right field wall.
Especially now when you get in a bad count like this even becomes more of a dangerous pitch to come inside.
Staying away, 3-0. And things don't get easier for the Phillies with Mark Teixeira on deck. Teixeira on deck. A-Rod's next. The 3-0. It's a strike on the outside corner. Wouldn't even come in over the plate then. So he nips the outside corner.
For what Johnny's seen on those 4 pitches, everyone is away. Everyone has a little bit of movement. And a veteran hitter like Johnny Damon, he could dive out there and hook one to right field. Take a chance here in that 3-1 count.
Base hit. The winning run moves to second. John, you called it, that open spot on the right side of the infield, and Johnny Damon took aim.
Every pitch that Johnny Damon saw was in the same location, middle of the plate, moving away. You just dive a little bit, get the bat head out, hook it into right field. That's just a veteran hitter having a game plan when he stepped up to the plate.
Now there's a conference on the mound, and what do you talk about? How do you get out Mark Teixeira? Mark is 2 for 4. And one of them was a broken bat home run in the 6th inning.
Yeah, the bat shattered. Home run number 13, and it was deep, well out of here. Cole Hamels couldn't believe it.
And the pitch. And a strike.
Phillies still playing that ship. Jimmy Rollins behind second base. Chase Utley shortened it up a little bit here. He's not playing in right field. Condrey throwing a lot of sinkers away.
Served down the left field line, giving Chase Jason Worth on the run, and that'll make the 6.
Got Condrey throwing all those sinkers away. You think it'd be easy for a guy like Teixeira just to slap it the other way.
He's got much more of a pull hitter as a left-handed hitter as opposed to right-handed hitter. But yeah, you're right, John. That little changeup away, fastball away. He actually tried to come inside there and play Condrey. Left it out over the plate.
Jeter's on second. Damon's on first. Game tied 3-3, bottom of the 10th. Mark Teixeira at the plate. And the pitch. 1-2. It has been a homestand of an exceptionally exciting brand of baseball for the Yankees. They've had 4 walk-off wins. They've won 8 of 9 games. This is the 10th and final game of the homestand. And the 1-2. Almost hit him in the count. 2-2.
Little sinker coming inside, almost clipping his shin. Getting back into a good count, 2-2.
And the 2-2 pitch upstairs. And there's no relief for the Phillies. On deck is Alex Rodriguez.
Relief for Condrey either. Nobody warming up in the Philly bullpen. This is his game to lose.
3-2 count. Nobody out. Jeter's at second. Damon's at first. Condrey sets. And the payoff. Grounded foul. Teixeira almost threw his bat at that ball. Got a piece to stay alive.
Yeah, Mark Teixeira just got away with one. Went out of the strike zone. Probably figuring I'm going to get a good pitch to hit here with Alex Rodriguez behind me, and it ran off the plate. Good news for Mark. He pulled it just foul. With another chance.
Another payoff. Condrey against Teixeira. 3-3 game, bottom of the 10th. Ground ball to second. This could be 2. There's 1. On to first. It's a double play as Jeter moves to third.
Condrey made his pitch down middle of the plate. See, Utley gives a little shuffle to Rollins. He's able to turn the double play. Mark Teixeira hit right into the shift. Now it's up to Alex Rodriguez with 2 outs.
Now the Phillies have a decision that they can make. Robinson Cano got pinch run for in the 9th by Ramiro Pena. You can walk Alex Rodriguez and take your chance with Ramiro Pena rather than going against Rodriguez. So we'll see what their decision is.
Why wouldn't you, Michael? Yeah, I think that would make sense. Even though Alex Rodriguez is under the Mendoza line, 189, he's still Alex Rodriguez.
And they are going to walk A-Rod. Now, one thing about Ramiro Pena, he's not an automatic out by any stretch of the imagination. He's gotten some big hits for the Yankees. So they do not want to deal with Rodriguez, no matter what the average says. They know how dangerous he can be. So now they will deal with Ramiro Pena.
Well, the one thing we've seen from Pena in his brief major league career, he doesn't really get out of his game. Just tries to slap the ball the other way, has a nice short swing.
Which would be a good approach against Condrey. He's throwing a lot of those sinkers, changeups away. You want a hitter that has the ability to stay on the ball or go the other way.
Well, this Yankee team has turned into the deli down the block. There seems to be a different hero every single day. Yesterday, it was Melky Cabrera. Today, maybe it's going to be Ramiro Pena. So Pena did pinch hit or pinch run for Cano after Cano singled to start the ninth against Lid, stole second, and scored on Melky Cabrera's single. So now runners on the corners with 2 men out, and Pena has a chance to win it. With runners in scoring position so far this year, the rookie is 3 for 9. That's 333. They're not holding on A-Rod. He could take second if he wants. And he will. And that one is skied to center field. Victorino is there, and he'll put it away, and we'll go to the 11th inning. So the Yankees had runners on first and second, nobody out, but a big double play off the bat of Mark Teixeira, and then Pena flies out to center, and we go to the 11th. David Koner in the studio to recap everything from this finale against the Phillies, including highlights from around the major leagues. Plus, Kimberly Jones talks to the players in the clubhouse. It's the W.B. Mason postgame, and it's after the final out, which is when the postgame would be, only on Yes. And remember, after the postgame, then it's another edition of the W.B. Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show. So a lot of stuff to look forward to, but not rain. Luckily, it is Umbrella Day here at Yankee Stadium, so they are coming in handy because it's starting to rain here in the ballpark. And we had told you that the forecast was for some scattered showers later, and later has happened. Brett Tomko takes over for the Yankees. Mariano goes just one. And that's what Tomko's done. His last 3 appearances, 2 1/3, 1 hit, did not allow a run. And he will face John Mayberry Jr. There's a strike. Comco had a very good spring training. Got caught up in a numbers game. They sent him down, but a couple of weeks ago decided to give him a try. He's done a nice job. Pitch outside.
Talking to Brett, he had a few teams opportunities to be a starter coming into spring training, and the Yankees made it pretty clear you have a chance of coming out of the bullpen. He liked the idea. He was coming out of the bullpen a little bit with the Dodgers, and he was a long-time starting pitcher, Reds, San Diego, a few teams. And he enjoyed the idea of just getting up and, you know, letting it all out, blow it out. He was a closer down at Scranton, and talking to him, he likes the role.
Tries to tie up Mayberry. Now the count 3-1.
He's an interesting guy. He was competing for that long relief job in spring training. Didn't work out, but now he's going to be, you would think, at some point graduating into those late inning situations.
Count now full at 3-2.
He's talking about how, you know, as a starter, he basically 4-pitch, big curve, slider, change, and as a reliever, you got to kind of eliminate at least one of them, maybe two of them. And he said, you know, all of them still are good, even though he likes the big curveball, primarily going fastball. He's got a good change.
He jammed him, and it's popped up. Cash and Teixeira. Teixeira makes the call on the catch. One away. So he comes back from down 3-1 to get John Mayberry Jr. for the first out.
He's always been just kind of reach back, just throw it, you know, have a conscious of where he wants to locate it, but more than anything else, a guy that is going to go on velocity and location.
And the pitch to Pedro Feliz is a strike.
Looks like he's got the right mindset coming out of the pen, right? Just here it is. Here's my best stuff. We'll see what you can do with it. Pounding the strike zone.
And the count 1-1. Grounded to short. Cheater's right there. And they're 2 away. Phillies head home after this game. The Yankees will get on a flight to go to Texas. They play tomorrow afternoon. We'll have the game right here on Yes. Our coverage starts at 1:30. And game time right around 2:05. Phil Hughes is going to start for the Yankees tomorrow against Matt Harrison. The Rangers won today. Shut out the Astros 5-0. And there's a strike to Chase Utley. For the Yankees, it'll be a 7-game road trip, 3 in Texas, an off day Thursday, and then 4 games against the Cleveland Indians. And the pitch.
Well, if you look at the respective bullpens, Topko, because of his past as a starter, Bruni being hurt and Sevis they'd like to stay away from, this might be a situation where he's going to go for a few innings. Phillies have Chandler Park instead of Longman, who they haven't used yet.
Started the season as a starter, Chano Park did, and then they replaced him with J.A. Happ. And Park was actually a reliever with the Dodgers last year, and that's why the Phillies thought they'd roll the dice on him. Being very careful with Utley here at the bottom of the order. And they walk him. Now, I'm not saying that's intentional, but pretty darn close. They'd rather take their chance with Carlos Ruiz.
Especially when you got behind in the count 3-1 or 2-1. He threw a cutter in off the plate. 3-1, just rode one off the plate.
Ruiz 3 for 4. Tomko deals a strike. Boy, Tomko's throwing well. His fastball's at 94. You can challenge people with 94 if you're locating. Keeping an eye on Utley.
Yeah, 94 is above the speed limit. Major League average fastball around 89, 90, 91. So you get above that, and hitters have to just click it a little sooner. He's got a good slide, a good change.
Tomko got roughed up in his first outing after getting called up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre, but he's been a different pitcher since. The 0-1. Breaking ball outside. 1-1. We're in the 11th inning. Game is tied at 3. Yankees tied it in the bottom of the 9th inning. They had a chance to win it in the bottom of the 9th inning. They had a chance to win it in the bottom of the 10th. But they couldn't do it. So now here we are in the 11th, a 3-3 game. Yankees have out-hit the Phillies 13-10. Ruiz swings and misses. Got a slider there.
Yeah, a slider. He went fastball, curve, 75 was the speed on his curveball. That little slider. Almost like a cutter. It's a very small, tight break to it.
Throw over. Chase Utley has 2 stolen bases on the season, has not been thrown out yet due to that hip surgery in the offseason.
Runner goes, they weren't looking, so Utley steals without a throw, and now he's in scoring position. Changes the whole specter of the at-bat. Now you can't afford to give up a single.
He ran on a good pitch, a curveball. You take your chances. It's going to be down in the dirt. One Tomko threw, kind of spun out of his hand and was up high. Kevin Cash did not have a play.
Two. High fly ball, right field, giving chase Melky Cabrera, but he'll run out of room. On Friday night, Carlos Ruiz went deep against A.J. Burnett. And that was the game that the Phillies won. And the Yankees won yesterday afternoon. Now, extra innings, 3-3. Chase Utley's on second with 2 men out. 2-2 pitch. Foul back to the screen.
Ruiz given a tough at bat. Derek Jeter going to go talk to Brett Tomko probably on signs from Kevin Cash to make sure he's on the same page. But Ruiz just seems to give you a good at bat after a good at bat, fouling off tough pitches.
Oh, he's 236 coming in this series up to 290, so definitely getting hot.
2-2 pitch. Again, you lose him. You've got to deal with Jimmy Rollins.
There's a fastball in off the plate, running. Not close.
The 3-2 pitch. Again, spoils it and fouls it back. Well, it's been an 8-pitch at bat at this point. As Cash goes over to talk things over with Tomko.
Just want to make sure you're on the same page. 9th pitch of the at bat coming.
Hit shortly and past A-Rod and down the left field line. Utley will score. It's the 4th hit for Ruiz, an RBI double, and the Phillies lead 4-3.
Ruiz just seems to grind out at bats, and he gets a 3-2 slider. It's middle of the plate. Maybe took a little off a curveball. You could see the reaction. He just wanted to throw a strike with Jimmy Rollins coming up behind him. And Ruiz was ready for it. Drills it past Alex Rodriguez. Chase Utley scores, and the Phillies have the lead.
6 hits in two of the games he played.
So 3 hits today and a walk, so he's been on base 4 times. And now he's in scoring position. And the Phillies up 4-3. Boy, there are a lot of Phillies fans here in this ballpark that made the trip from Philadelphia. Throughout the 3-game set, we've seen a lot of red shirts throughout the ballpark. And a big cheer went up when Ruiz just doubled. Now Joe Girardi will go out and talk with Tomko. If you want to look ahead to the bottom of the 11th, Cabrera, Matsui, and Cash. And they cannot pinch hit for Cash because he's the only catcher they have left. Count 3-0. So 2 quick outs and then the walk to Utley, a stolen base, and a double by Ruiz. And it's 4-3 Phillies. And Rollins walks. Ominous skies over Yankee Stadium. The rain has stopped, but there's more in the forecast. Victorino fouls it back. Now it looks like Contre's going to pitch the 11th inning. The Phillies have already used 5 relievers: Durbin, Air, Madsen, Lidge, and now Contre. They have the left-hander Tashner left and Chano Park. Count 1-1.
Victorino's had a nice day for himself, 3 for 5. Enjoying hitting in that second hole in front of Raul Ibanez.
Popped up. Ramiro Pena will put it away for the final out of the 11th, but the damage has been done against Tomko. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 men left. Melky Cabrera will lead off in the bottom of the 11th. Day matinee as the Yankees start a series against the Rangers in Texas. Coverage will start at 1:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then John Flaherty and Ken Singleton will have the call from the ballpark at Arlington. Yankees against the Rangers. It all starts tomorrow at 1:30, and it's only on Yes. Well, can the Yankees rally again? Can they go to the well one more time? Clay Condrey will try to stop it. Brad Lidge could not stop it the last 2 days, and Melky Cabrera will lead it off. And there's a strike. Melky drove in the tying run in the bottom of the 9th inning with a single to center field, scoring pinch runner Ramiro Pena. Missed outside. Count 1-1.
Staying away on Melky and these left-handers. Jack Taschner, Chan Ho, the last 2 Philly relievers available.
Count 2-1. Melky today 3 more hits, 3 for 4. Stolen base and was caught stealing once. And the pitch. There's a strike.
It's a good pitch. It's a give-up pitch for a left-handed hitter. Seeing sinkers away, everything run away, and then that backdoor slider coming back on the plate.
And the 2-2 is grounded sharply to second. Utley gobbles it up. And there's one away. And that's going to bring up Matsui. He is 0 for 4 today. 5 for his last 30. And his average is now dipped to 242. And that's why he was dropped to 7th in the order today. Condrey deals. Yankees down by 1. 4-3 Phillies, bottom of the 11th. Grounded to Howard. And he puts the Condrey, and the Yankees are down to their final out.
Hideki actually got a pretty good pitch to hit right there, but he's not going well. Rolled over on it. Actually was up in the zone, pretty much middle away. Howard going to his right makes the easy play. The flip to Condrey, and now it's up to Kevin Cash to keep this inning alive.
Kevin Cash just 1 for 16. He's done a good job behind the plate. There's nobody to pinch hit for Cash. You could pinch hit Baroa, but there'd be nobody to catch if they had extra innings or another extra inning. Cervelli was lifted for a pinch hitter. Nick Swisher. There's a strike. That was in the 9th inning, and Swisher grounded out to second base with a chance to win the game. Runner on second and 1 out. Count 1-1.
It's so hard when you're a backup catcher. You don't get a lot of at-bats, and you've been struggling offensively. You just have to go up there and just compete. Dig in there and grind out an at-bat so you can work a walk. Get a base hit the other way. Anything to keep this inning moving along.
And this game moving along. He's the Yankees' last hope as the count now 2-1. Brett Gardner is on deck. And that one is looped to Rollins, and that's going to do it. So the Yankees lose a tough one. Carlos Ruiz with a big game. Clay Condrey gets the win. And the Phillies beat the Yankees 4-3 and take 2 out of 3 from the Yanks here in the Bronx. And both teams' first interleague series of the year. But for the Yankees,